7 o'clock in St. Louis. You are listening to The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. It's the Healthcare Evolution. 7 o'clock hour. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the program. Little Jackie Papers. Love that Rascal Puff, and he's taking a picture of his desktop computer over there, Doug.
What's going on?
Something's not working, and I'm trying to fix it.
Not your fault. It's not your fault.
Robin Williams, Matt Damon, host of Saturday Night Live this past Saturday, Good Will Hunting 1997, and they won what? Best Original Screenplay?
I don't know what they won, Tim.
That's correct.
Yes.
And how old were they then? Because we were watching Saturday Night Live last night, Jackson. We'll get to the Lifetime Roofing lead in a moment. And my wife said, how old is Matt Damon, you think? You think he's 50? I said, oh, over.
Yeah, he's
57-ish?
Yeah, he's probably. I bet they
I'm
were.
going to go under on 57, over on 50. Doug, you will give the information now.
I'd say 54.
I think higher.
I think, God, I'm going to take the over on 54.
Oh, so we're in
56.
between.
I'm really dialed in on a number
I'll
right
stick
now.
with 57.
He's 55.
Oh, okay.
That was a high-risk play.
So back then, the question was, how old were they? They were mid-20s when they cranked that out.
I guess so.
Wow, that's impressive.
And Minnie Driver was upset. Is that correct?
Yeah, big time.
Well, why was she chirping?
Circle of Friends, and they made her wear Lane Bryant.
Oh,
Look it up.
is that worse than August Max?
I don't even know what that is.
I think it was another store for plus-size gals.
You can
I could
text
be
in or
wrong
call
with
in on that topic at 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text inbox. You can call in 314-974-0101. Collier and Thompson phone lines. Then you got the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. And Doug, I just looked up, and it looks like we are starting to move in the direction my dad has said we should have done since 2004, which is basically just me on camera.
Okay, you got your way.
Jackson is up there still. We'll take care of that here within the next 10 minutes.
Doug, wink twice if you're okay.
But Doug and Martin are gone.
Just show Timmy. That's fine. Sponsors that's what they want.
The Devil's Crotch says it's balloon party. Jackson, it's back.
Yeah, the two of yous. I think while you're acting stressed, I think Jackson manipulated all of this. So
This is all strategic.
back to the two of yous having your own show. By the way, it's not Paper's fault. There's something technologically wrong, and we're just not smart.
Poor Jackson. He gets to lift the weight of updating the Air Comfort Service text names and thinks, okay, we're going to start with a brand new week. Forecast is for temperatures in the 80s. It's sunny in the St. Louis metropolitan area, and he comes in, and somehow my father and quote-unquote our friends have done the right thing and eliminated Doug and Martin from the YouTube for the ladies with their Hitachi magic wands this morning.
Had I known there was going to be another problem with YouTube, I would have brought my set of socket wrenches.
Well, you do have that set.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I've contacted the engineering team, and hopefully it can be remedied ASAP.
All right.
And that's all you can do at this point. Don't worry about it.
No, I know. It's just
Oh, you're fine.
frustrating.
Type in the closed caption of that sentence, Tim. That's just,
What if you peer it over the edge?
I'm trying to make sure the cameras are all
Did you get
plugged
to see
in.
Devil Wears Prada 2 at least?
Not yet.
Ah,
Well, try going yesterday. Holy mackerel.
what
So
was
you
wrong?
left your family on Mother's Day to go watch a dandy film.
Nope. Even better, me and my dad played 9 holes.
Oh, that's gangster.
Well, we had Mother's Day brunch.
hey, Ma, while we're out, why don't you cook something?
We had Mother's Day brunch, and then me and my dad, I said, Dad, it's going to be a beautiful
I bet
afternoon.
the T-sheet at St. Louis is probably open on Mother's Day.
That was packed.
Oh, wow.
You did play at St. Louis Country Club.
No, it's funny. That's probably the course. It's not probably. It's undoubtedly the course I grew up closest to.
Oh,
Not surprised.
my
Not
heart is
surprised.
stopped. I'm just happy to be close to the Stitz Gymnasium at Tam and Nottingham. And this guy is on the, what is it, the third?
Not
Or is it the
terribly beaten
fourth, Doug?
potatoes.
Like truly the closest golf course I've lived next to my whole life, and I've never played it. Weird.
Well, you think you will someday?
Yeah, I would say yes.
On
You
a
know any
Monday.
members?
Yeah, the Monday.
I would
That's where
think-
all the best players play.
Mother's Day is probably really big at country clubs for a lot of dads calling their kids. And don't forget, I know we're divorced. Don't forget to call your mother. Make sure you call your mother, okay? I bet that was a lot of country club golf Sunday.
Yeah.
Dad saying, hey, kids, we're divorced, but call your ma.
And that's what you observed, Jackson, before going out and getting in a golden hour 9.
That's right. Yeah. It was busy. It was busy, but it was a beautiful day. So.
Where'd you play?
Ruth Park.
Oh,
Not exactly.
Home of the
Fivesome.
Fivesome, yeah. Home of the Fivesome.
You can wear blue jeans on that course, I think.
Oh, yeah. And or
You played
less.
pretty quick, too. Well, in theory.
You know.
Maybe
tried.
not yesterday.
Can a fellow wear blue jeans on a driving range?
In Augusta, yes.
I mean,
You
as
wear whatever
local
you
driving range.
Yeah. You
Okay.
could, as long as you're clothed, I'm sure they would
good.
allow you to buy a
As
bucket.
long as you're clothed.
Well,
You have a
yeah.
high standard.
But I'm sure the owners would welcome anybody.
Right.
with a
A
credit
driving
card.
range at a public course? Sure.
No, I don't mean at the course. I just mean like a Tower Tee or a Family Golf or
Yeah.
one of those.
Right.
They don't care if you show up in blue
It
jeans.
would be the same policy as if you were going to the Dollar General.
I'm sure Adam Betts is excited to hear Doug endorsing folks showing up at Family Golf in blue
Well, I
jeans.
did that the other day myself.
Oh.
I had an extra hour, and there's a driving range there in Sunset Hills, and I said, I'll just go hit golf balls. I'm in blue jeans. Can I do that? So I did it anyway.
Forever in blue jeans, Neil Diamond?
I think so. Yeah.
Now they're not happy with the new drone angle of the YouTube. So this is a drone that's flying above us?
It's about to be the image of a mirror looking at a mirror. It's like some weird vortex going on. Is that Keanu Reeves?
Oh, yeah, it is. You can call in, text in, Michelob Ultra YouTube chat.
Got a Google map going on here.
And the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, the morning after at InsideSTL.com, Design Air online at DesignAirService.com. And that is Seth Goldcamp's operation. And he's fourth generation. Martin's a client, Doug's a client, I'm a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client as well with Design Air Heating and Cooling and sign up for the service plan? And what that means is when it starts to warm up, they come out and take care of the air conditioning and tune it up for the warm weather months. And when it starts to get cold out, they come out and tune up and test your furnace. It takes everything off your plate. They take care of it for you. You can do that right now at DesignAirService.com, Design Air Heating and Cooling. Can't you test the camera before the show starts? Hunchback of on camera.
Gosh, here it
hell.
comes. Here it comes.
He did because
Leave us alone.
before
If
the show.
if it wasn't for what I did, we would have no YouTube
Yeah.
at all. So, I don't necessarily
the hero,
I
then.
don't need the thanks. I just,
That's like you wanted
will
some
respect.
thanks.
Hunchback of on Castle, put some respect on his name.
Thank you.
Doug, Lifetime Roofing lead. Lifetime Roofing online at lifetimeroofingstl.com. That's the great Dustin McClendon. And we are thrilled to have Lifetime Roofing as a new sponsor here on TMA. But just because they're new, Doug, you can't take advantage of them. He monitors this lead
Does
story
he?
that you choose.
Okay.
I have it in the Polos Plus dossier that what City did against Colorado with all the red cards is the lead, but it's not my decision. The Battlehawks, not only after getting chastised by the owner of the UFL on social media for the crowd, they responded for the fans of St. Louis.
Okay.
I think you can make a case for that being the
Neither
lead.
one of those two are the lead.
What?
The lead are our Redbird
Oh,
Cardinals.
Wemby.
Our Redbird Cardinals.
Wemby's elbow.
No, the St. Louis and Cardinals.
L'Habitant against Buffalo.
Cardinal baseball. Maybe the most painful loss of the season to date.
Brutal. Absolutely brutal.
Yeah, these things are going to happen over the course of a season, but they still hurt when they do. O'Brien's been so good. For him to cough up a home run with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the ninth, it doesn't get any tougher than that. But he's nailed so many wins down that you can't get down on him just because of
Remember
that.
the Pittsburgh game where they saved the
Yes.
home run? That felt that way. Like you just see the expression on O'Brien. Like yesterday, it didn't stay in the park. The
Not even close, Martin.
Right, but the one in Pittsburgh, you got away with it. Those things are, Doug, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't.
That's
but you
right.
couldn't help but think, wow, 3 out of 4 from the Padres? They're wrapping up this 16-game stretch that was supposed to be the 17 games. You're about to be 10-6 during this stretch, which we said was a little bit of a litmus test.
I would have taken the under all day on 10, or as it turned out, 9 all day. All day.
But you get a little greedy. You're right there. You're thinking, oh, my God, what a great weekend of baseball.
Did you see that stat that over the last 125 years, this is the fewest amount of hits the Cardinals have allowed in a 4-game
Yeah,
series?
Chip Carey brought that up on the broadcast.
Yeah. Fantastic pitching.
They were at 12 hits for the 4-game series going into the bottom of the 9th. And then a little excuse me, how do you do single to get things going. Didn't like that. But then the next 2 hitters retired without much of an issue, and Castellanos is 0-2. And then, to his credit, battles. Lots of foul balls in that 9th inning across the board. And that at bat in particular. I could be off on this. This is intuition after watching however many games they've played at this point. But I feel like O'Brien gets to a point after a certain number of pitches where he looks gassed, and also the stuff then looks vulnerable. I think against the Mariners on a Saturday afternoon, we saw that a couple weeks ago, and it looked like Castellanos was really wearing him down. And he got him, and he left that ball on the inside part of the plate. He was able to turn on it, get the barrel on it, and brutal.
How about the fact he broke his bat, needed a new bat. They throw him one from the dugout. He said it was from Tatis, who hasn't hit a home run all year.
Don't bring it up. The South Side Seamen are not doing well with this situation.
Can you get credit for a Tatis home run, Doug, if it was his bat?
No.
It
Go to the
wouldn't have mattered
commissioner?
anyway.
No.
Charlie still beat me. Charlie Marlowe AI.
Call in, Chuck. Big man.
Well,
As good as the pitching has been, the Cardinals aren't getting a whole lot of hitting themselves, especially the back half of the lineup. Wynn and Church have had some moments, but some of the other guys are going to have to pick it up.
give me an example of.
Well, Gorman's hitting 218, Scott 186, Pages 205, so JC 153. That doesn't work.
Why?
Well, you can't count on the same 3 or 4 guys every night to provide the offense.
What if you take the Rob Manfred Golden at bat and just call it the Golden Four and just roll over the top 4 over and over again?
I'd take that.
Probably this would be a good time in Sacramento to try it out because nobody will be watching.
What do you think? Logistics?
Sacramento they go.
Sitting in San Diego today, getting on a plane eventually.
That's what
no
I would
real
do.
hurry.
I might stay in San Diego tonight. What do you think that is? 2 hours up the coast, huh?
It is Bill DeWitt's money, but if you're in San Diego, maybe get a deal, Doug, on that 5th night in San Diego.
Oh, you probably could, yeah.
No real hurry to get up the coast to Sacramento. I've
All
never
due
been
respect,
there.
light the beam.
Have you been there? Has anybody been to Sacramento?
Jackson has. He lights the beam.
I
No,
drove through
never
it
been.
once.
There you go. That
You
counts.
drive through it.
Where the hell were you going?
I was in
Were you a mule?
Nevada skiing, and then drove to San Francisco.
Martin and I are the only
Okay.
ones who are relatable to the
Yeah.
audience.
Wow. Skiing,
Yeah.
St. Louis Country Club.
whipping over to Napa for a tasting.
This is the Reno area, the Hidden Valley. I think it's Happy. What Hidden? I forget the name of it.
Rich Gould worked in Sacramento.
Oh, did it?
That's
That
right.
Koppler owned KPLR in St. Louis and a station in Sacramento. In fact, Rich's claim to fame in Sacramento is they brought in Rush Limbaugh, the local radio guy, to do some TV.
Oh, yeah.
And they told Rich to help him do TV, like teach Rush how to do TV. Yeah, just sit in front of the prompt. Want to grab lunch? Oh, well, you're supposed to be training me. Do that. Let's go get a patty melt. But he said he would, Rush Limbaugh would sit down. He was supposed to do these editorials, like, a minute blurb that they'd put on the news. And he said he would talk for 10 or 12
Sure,
minutes.
sounds about right.
He said, you really got to tighten that up.
He was from Cape Girardeau, so just a meat and potatoes guy himself.
Yeah.
If you are looking for help at a couple of positions, why take a look at what went on over the weekend at Memphis. Jimmy Crooks hit his 12th home run, Doug. He is now sitting with a 1,050 OPS. That's 12 home runs, and he's finally gotten to more than 100 at-bats. He's at 12 home runs and 106 at-bats for what is by far the best slugging percentage of anybody at Memphis, but it's not because Memphis is lacking for offense. Blaze Jordan also now raking. He's sitting at his 8 home runs and a 946 OPS, and Blaze Jordan is hitting over 300. There is a catcher and there is a third baseman. How does that feel for you?
Well, that feels great.
Pages' issue on Saturday night with Dustin May played a role in that loss.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if they're close to pulling the trigger on that. I have a feeling they are not.
What do you think there, Biden?
I said get me to mid-May. We're almost to mid-May.
Yeah, you said get me to the Dotem.
Could really, I think they use it as a measuring stick. Heim, I know you're new. Is the Dotem a measuring stick? Claves always said Flag Day, we're moving it up. I think at some point here, there's got to be intrigue to what this team. If you're 40 games in, so you're a quarter of the way through the season, and they've been good. Does your metrics internally still say, well, we're not that good. We're not going to sustain this? I mean, I'm sure that they're looking at this a little bit with skepticism, but at some point, if you're hanging in there, you're like, all right, what gives us the best chance moving forward? Maybe it is getting Crooks up here. You used to have the fake IL, Charlie, and I called it the fake IL.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody was really struggling, like a Fetty would have, like calf tightness or something. We could use a good fake IL right about now, Doug. Get a fresh body up here. I don't know. Not yet.
Yeah,
I mean, would I do it? Maybe, but I don't think they will.
Not sure how Pages can be labeled the defensive catcher, especially after Saturday. And he's not an offensive catcher, so...
Okay, don't say so. Don't do that.
That's from the Francis Park Mermaid.
Yeah, we didn't need that.
You can text in with your thoughts at 314-399-9646. Air Comfort Service text inbox. And, of course, you are welcome to talk it over with other TMA listeners. A new view today on the cameras at youtube.com/TMASTL 6,870 have subscribed to the TMA STL YouTube channel, and you can do so as well. From 7 to 11, you catch this program, and from 11 to 12, we are on the TMA STL YouTube channel with After the Morning After. Victor Scott's not a major league player. That's from Eric in the Central West End.
Yeah, he doesn't hit a whole lot.
He's not hitting like it.
I think I want him on my roster, but not starting every day.
Yeah, Newtbar, I think, is coming back. Right now, the plan is early next month. I'm sure he becomes the left fielder, and Church becomes a center fielder. Hopefully that'll get a little bit more offense in there.
Sacramento's the hemorrhoid of California. It's the Morrison Woods wacko. Is that true?
I wouldn't think so. The hemorrhoid, it's the capital. How bad can it be?
The lead, Doug, should have been Thomas Ajacey. Why did he have a bat in his hands with the game on the line Saturday night? They could have pinch hit John Jay, and I would have taken it.
Oh.
Why was he allowed to even touch the field yesterday?
Gosh.
Why is he still on his team? I want guys who can hit balls.
Oh.
From the unknown DJ.
Gosh.
Pie sucks!
Oh.
Bobby Cobb.
This is really exciting because fans are genuinely mad at the team for not being better, where the apathy of the last couple of years is gone. This is great. People are kind of invested.
I agree with you.
Enough so that they're paying attention to who's struggling and who they want shipped out. That's the good old days. You're like, get rid of this guy. Call somebody up. That's the urgency you have when you think the team's good.
I want to see these guys. I can't stand this team.
No.
They got no balls. Okay? I want teams with balls. I want guys with balls.
How can you tell in baseball whether a guy has balls or not? Just if he strikes out, he doesn't have balls.
Morrison Woods wacko's the hemorrhoid of St. Louis. Can we get some freaking Preparation H? That's from Big Blonde Dan, and he decided to pick on the Morrison Woods wacko.
This is what happens when you lose. Everyone's a little testy the next day.
Yep. One more strike, and we're planning a parade down Market around Thanksgiving when the World Series ends.
They almost got Mason Miller on Saturday, almost,
That
thanks to
would've been
walks.
insane.
Yeah.
4 strikeouts in the inning.
Yeah. He's about as close to unhittable as there is right now.
Put Jimmy Crooks on the Battlehawks so the Cardinals are ready for him. That's from Drinking with Kevin in Wright City.
Well, I don't know that he has a position in football. Lineman, maybe. I kind of think that's off the table. But we'll check into it.
We will check into it. You're welcome to check into it as well by calling in, texting in, talking it over with other TMA listeners in the YouTube chat or emailing in. The program's called The Morning After. We broadcast from the Stiefel Studios here on TMA. This is 101 ESPN. I played this yesterday right as the ball sailed over the wall.
Did you really?
I was actually watching it with the family. I did emotional risk management on the Cardinals-Padres game.
Oh, no.
Bet on the Padres.
I bet on the Padres right when I saw that little blue pit. I go, let me see what's doing here. Got him at plus 550. It was a small taste. It was a small taste. Jackson wouldn't even bend over to pick it up.
I wouldn't think so. Not if
Doesn't
he's
make it
playing
any
Rick
better,
Park.
though, I'll be honest with you. My dauber was down. I'll
Was
be
it
my
really?
dauber was down again. This morning talking about it. And, Ali Marmol makes this observation, and we have to talk about it here because it's not, the sound is not available. But, Martin, I said on Friday, if you recall, I said, I got to reach out to Anouk Karunaratne, who is with the Cardinal. I call it broadcasting wing, but I don't know if that's the official title of the job. And I said, what is the story with Major League Baseball on the on not making things accessible on YouTube as far as post-game sound, whereas NHL teams do? I think it's got to be an MLB thing, he says. So you're talking about like Ollie's post-game, the players' post-game? I said, yes. He goes, I'm going to look into that, and I'll get back to you. So we are going to get that information. But poor Jackie Papers doesn't have it, so we have to credit Derek Gould in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch for this. And this is what Ali Marmol said. What I love about this is you've got a clubhouse that is pretty pissed off right now. That says something to not coming into this series feeling good about just splitting with these guys. They wanted to get Mason Miller Saturday night. They want to take the series and prove what they're all about. I like the fact that the mood is what it is. Expectations are high, and I love it. My point is more rather than going in and saying, man, we split against a really good team, they're pissed that we didn't sweep it. It's Ali Marmol in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch this morning.
I have the audio.
I see. I apologize if you do. I have Ali Marmol on.
I might have transcribed it poorly.
I have Ali Marmol discusses Kyle Leahy's solid start, the Cardinals' offense, and more.
Yeah,
after the
it was
team's
a
tough 3-2
bad
loss.
description on my
and
part.
Ali Marmol in-game Friday and Michael McGreevy in the lineup belonging with a team like San Diego.
Simply bad description on my part.
Remember Simply Red? Was that holding back the years?
I think so.
Money too tight to mention?
Well,
He looked kind of like Dustin May, only not quite as tall.
Wow.
Oh, actually, that's a good call.
really nice.
Why don't we just yell when he doesn't want to talk in the postgame? Hey, Simply Red, get over here.
You want to hear the audio?
That might get me back down to the ballpark in the clubhouse if you were wanting to do that. Here is Jackson Burkett's audio, which was, he said, poorly transcribed.
Man, we played a good game. We knew it was going to be tight. Leahy did a really nice job of giving us a look through 5 there. Couldn't put a ton together offensively. Walker's homer was a big swing. Keeping these guys across the way to under 2 is going to be a tough one, but our bullpen did a really nice job, man. They got O'Brien, but guys leading up to that were excellent. But what I love about this is you got a clubhouse that's pretty pissed right now, and that says something to not coming into this series feeling good about just splitting with these guys. They wanted to get Miller yesterday. They wanted to take the series and prove what they're all about. So I like the fact that the mood is what it is. The expectations are high, and I love it.
Yeah. Well, I would hope so. I would hope they can't lose a game like that and then say, oh, well, the guys didn't really seem to care. They're just happy to be out here. But, I think some of in the big picture, the mood has changed from let's see what we can put together and establish for the future to maybe we got a shot this year. That's the good part for me. I would hope that the players would be upset if they lost a game like that.
And I think even in spring training when we were there, and we all do it politely, like, hey, how are you going to deal with this season? And we're thinking you're going to lose 90 games. I think they would all say, well, who knows? Maybe we'll be okay.
Yeah.
They never told themselves we're going to be a 70-win club. So they should take, every win. And especially what we were saying as fans, you're watching and media, and you're saying, all right, you're about to take 3 out of 4 from the Padres. About to go 10-6 during this 16 straight. Yeah, the little Brewer rainout deal, but it was right. That would be a total kick to the gut. Otherwise, you shouldn't be playing pro ball if it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Was that audiocardinals.tv?
Yeah, where'd you get it from,
It must have been because
MLB Film Room.
that was probably, though, from like the Chip Carey postgame
Yeah, it was.
deal.
I heard that extended interview. It was Chip Carey. Papers is going into silent mode.
But I got it from MLB Film Room. It
You're
doesn't
fine.
say.
You're fine, buddy. That's
Okay,
no,
all right.
that's
Gosh.
Gosh, sideways. Jerk.
Enough sports. Talk French fries.
Oh.
That's from Mahi Mahi. Fix the damn camera. Big Tuft. I hate Mother's Day. That's from Salty Bald Dan from Caseyville. Just imagine if Riley O'Brien gets that final strike, Doug. I don't think any of this is going on.
No, people are in a much better mood. Padres got that win. They're now tied with the Dodgers for first in the West. That's a good team out there.
And the Cardinals were on the verge of taking, what would that have been? 5 of 7, right? 5 of 7 from the Padres and Dodgers. Are you kidding me? God bless America.
The games are competitive, man. That's the thing about it. When they
Even
lose.
the Saturday night loss.
Yeah, you lose, but it's kind of hanging in the balance.
When that Busman special against the Brewers, and that was kind of a blah, and that Sunday afternoon against the Dodgers, kind of a blah. It's like, oh, that's surprising. They weren't in it. I mean, they were mathematically. It wasn't like it was 10-0, but they weren't checked out. And I actually think it is of note. I understand what you're saying, Doug, because I think from an idealistic standpoint, you would expect everybody to care, everybody playing to care. I think it's of note that Ali Marmol is pointing out that they care. And I don't even think it's a conspiracy theory, but it's certainly 100% my speculation that if this were 2025 or 2024 or 2023, all of which he was a part of as manager, perhaps he didn't see everybody caring after something like that. So he likes the fact that a group of guys who could have been in the mindset of, okay, we took 4 of 7 from the Dodgers and Padres back-to-back weekends, and we're in both the losses against the Padres, are actually pissed off because perhaps in 2023, 2024, 2025, that would not have been the vibe. That is my belief for that observation from the Cardinal manager.
Yeah, maybe, especially if they're not really in the race. And they were in the race for half a season anyway. But I would just think as a player, you take every game and battle it as hard as you can. And if you ever, anytime you lose a game, you're going to be upset about it. I would think, though, at least those are the type of guys you'd want on your team.
Sure, exactly. And I think it's indicative that they're doing well without it. Went from plus 295 to plus 340 after splitting the Padres. That price is a steal, Doug. That's from Jugs in D.C., Atlantic 10 Basketball Gambling Insider. I don't know what he's talking about.
No.
Plus 340 to make the playoffs. He says, hop on now. Doug, you're getting 3.5 to 1 on your money on the Cardinals to make the playoffs per Jugs in D.C.
What about McGreevy? The TMA bump is real. This guy, last 3 starts, 18 innings, 1 run. Michael McGreevy.
Last 2 starts, both 6 shutty.
Yep.
Can't get to 7, though, can he?
No,
We should call
Gibson
him
did.
out.
Tudor
9 Ks Friday night. McGreevy.
How about the 9 Ks? Great article by Derek Gould in the Post-Dispatch about what took place there. He says his mindset has changed on 2 fronts. Number one, of course, his velocity was something that was of note in both spring and the earlier part of the season. He's worked on getting that up with both his fastball and his sinker. But to go, okay, when it's no balls, no strikes, don't just say, oh, let's see if we can get a ground ball. Let's see if we can get the strikeout. And he did. And he did against the Dodgers as well. But 9 strikeouts. 9 strikeouts is of note if you're one of the famed Cy Young guys. 9 strikeouts, especially amongst, what I think wound up being close to 100 friends and family who came in, former teammates who either lived in the San Diego area or came down from a couple hours north in the Los Angeles area to watch him pitch and deal against that lineup. I mean, these last 2 games have been against the Dodgers and the Padres. And Doug, you know what he's doing? Shutty.
Yeah, 6 shutty. ERA 2.18. Now, another couple of weeks, people start to be voting on All-Stars. I think maybe McGreevy and Walker would be the Cardinal All-Stars as it stands right now. You agree with that? Maybe O'Brien?
I would say Riley O'Brien would be live. I don't know if the Cardinals would get 3. I guess it depends
McGreevy
on
might
how
need
things
to
play.
do a little more just to get
2.18 ERA, 33 strikeouts.
No, I know, just get the recognition around the league, too. I was thinking he'd be live for a call-in on Thursday. That's the day game, but I believe he'd be pitching that day, wouldn't he? Are they doing this?
After experiencing what I can only describe, and my team of lawyers can only describe, an unfortunate text last Tuesday in which he was irritated with us for not inviting him on the program after, quote, 6 shutty against the Dodgers. My expectation is, even though they have an off day today, and they might be in the hemorrhoid of California, is that what they're calling it now? I thought it was just light the beam.
I wouldn't say
and that's
that.
Doug Christie and his wife used to sit courtside to make sure that he wouldn't look at other women.
Yeah.
Am I right? They did a Real Sports on that, and somehow it was painted as being romantic.
Well, she just had her head on a swivel looking at all the women.
No, man. Are you familiar with that, Papers?
No.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Do you think he's calling in today? Is that what you're
I
throwing
think
out
if
there?
I fired a text, he'd be like, yeah, of course. What time? That's what I think. The question is, are they in San Diego or Sacramento? My action would be on Sacramento, even though it's going from San Diego to Sacramento.
BT said that he would be meeting up with the team in Sacramento on Monday. So if that
But
means
they could be
anything.
theoretically
Right.
stay there.
I think San Diego last night traveled today to Sacramento. So they're, what is it? It's 5:30. It's a little early right now, but I think, 10, 11-ish, you're leaving the hotel. So he's probably up 9. That makes 11 here. He might be live for after the morning thing, after thing you guys do.
That's right, Doug.
Strode
How about
program?
that? Yeah.
McGreevy's our ace. That's from Derek, for real.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
that's-
doubt about that.
But May pitched really well on Saturday.
Yeah.
That was a very odd play with Pages. I mean, I know I'm isolating on a Saturday night 5th inning pitch. I mean, both these guys were throwing no-hitters. I mean, this was unbelievable what's going on with this. And then you had the weird play that then moved the runners up and then played a role in the outcome of the game. As much minutia as that might be.
I missed that play. I was at Billy G's having a pork steak. I'm a meat and potatoes guy. So when they ask me what I
could
want,
get to Billy G's.
bring me some meat and some potatoes.
And you got a park steak.
I did. God,
Oh,
it's great.
What'd you get on the side?
French fries, extra seasonings, please.
No, I had the broccoli salad and coleslaw.
Man, that sounds incredible.
Well, that's why I missed the play. I wasn't trying to brag about it. I'm just saying that's why I missed it.
Well, they don't put any sound up on YouTube, but they do put the little highlight packages on YouTube, and I know that because I watch it over and over again with my 4-year-old. And last night, I did not like going back and watching the Riley O'Brien debacle. In the
No,
ninth
don't do
inning.
it to yourself.
And I did, because he wanted to see the Jordan Walker home run, which nearly went over the warehouse.
Crushed.
Telling you.
Did you see the look on the pitcher's face? He looked back at it. It's like, I don't ever think I've seen a ball go that far.
Did you notice the throw he made at the end of yesterday's game?
Yeah, why is he not backing up on that? Why is he not running into
I was
the
thinking
catch
that, like
and
get
then
a
fire?
head of
Maybe he
steam
could've.
kind of.
Yes.
According to the game story, he was standing 299 feet away from home plate. He threw a laser to home, a perfect one-hop throw. Half a second earlier, and the guy's out.
Right, and that
would have been one of the best throws of the year.
I'm criticizing, but it felt like he's standing right under the ball and then throwing as opposed to, I don't know, running. I've never played Major League outfield, but I imagine.
I had the same thought. Don't you want a full head? Great throw. Clearly, he's got got an arm. But you're thinking, all right, get that full head of steam.
Doug, was a 2013 NLCS Game 1 extra innings, Cardinals and Dodgers, Magic Johnson right there down by the Dodgers dugout, in which a ball was hit to center field, and I think it was future Cardinal Mark Ellis on third base, and theoretically in right center, the center fielder would have the right of way and throw it. But Carlos Beltran, knowing he's got the stronger arm, I think he calls off John Jay and guns out Ellis at the plate, and why the Cardinals win the game and go on to win the series after Michael Wacha shuts down the Dodgers that Saturday afternoon while Missouri's wearing the Bumblebees playing Florida down at Faurot Field.
I don't remember all of that detail. Some of it, sure.
It felt like the Vin Scully play-by-play of the final out.
Ask him what time it is. He'll tell you how to build a watch. I love a great throw from the outfield. I think that's
You
one
loved
of the,
Vladimir Guerrero, Larry Walker.
Yeah. Mark Whitten.
Oh, yeah.
Man, could he throw? He
Rick
kind of
Ankiel.
short-armed the ball, but he still threw bullets.
Rick Ankiel in that one game in Colorado.
Oh,
Yeah.
how do you do?
Yeah. That was
Dave Parker.
All-timers.
The Cobra. Cardinal
Roberto
hitting coach in
Clemente.
1998.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest story to me is Jordan Walker continuing to hit. He hasn't cooled off. There was that little stretch. I think we all worried that it was going to fall off. At this pace, guys, 45 homers, 117 RBIs. That's the pace he's on right now.
I still got him at 80 in honor of summer of 98.
He's going to hit 80.
Nope.
He's big enough to hit 80.
Because if he doesn't hit, man, who's hitting cleanup? That lineup is already a little weak. If he doesn't hit, that's the story.
His StatCast numbers are still crazy. Crazy.
Give me some. Give me a StatCast, boy.
Top 1% in bat speed, hard hit percentage, expected slugging, average exit velo, batting run value, sprint speed. He's in the 92nd percentile. Arm strength in the 99th percentile.
Doug, where did you have him in batting run value?
Right about there.
Whiff percentage down in the 9th percentile. Chase percentage in the 37th. So
And didn't homer until the final game of the spring. And
That's
they
right.
weren't they talking about his swing back then? Like he's going to get back in the lab.
If Martin cares so much about the team's travel schedule, why doesn't he just throw an air tag in McGreevy's bag next time he's in the lockout room? That's from Bobby Big Wheels.
not the worst idea I've ever heard.
I kind of like that.
Crowdsourcing here. How many players in Major League Baseball are bigger than Jordan Walker? I guess
Judge.
Aaron Judge,
is a little
O'Neal
taller.
Cruz.
Cruz is taller.
Taller, yeah.
There's probably some pitchers that are just as tall as he is.
Taller, yeah. If
But
we're
I mean,
talking
to weigh
height.
250, or I think he's listed
Yeah.
at 250. I just looked to see who the heaviest player of all time in Major League Baseball. They're crediting Walter Young, a first baseman with the Orioles, 322 pounds.
Bartolo Colon might have pushed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was like, what, 6 feet tall maybe?
Yeah, Young was 6'5", 322.
Bartolo Colon enjoyed being fat. That's what I
He
liked
did.
about it.
Remember that line drive?
being fat.
That line drive that hit him in the stomach, about 100 pounds. He didn't even feel it. Picked the ball up, and lobbed it to first. He was absolutely okay.
And if you look at a picture now, Terry Forster, left-handed reliever of the Atlanta Braves that Letterman famously called the fat tub of goo, and it became like a thing. You look at him now like, he really wasn't that fat.
No. You guys remember Frank Howard?
Oh, huge man.
Oh, yeah. He was a basketball player in college, I think, at Ohio State. A really good hitter. Slow as molasses, but he was, I think, 6'7", 255. That's not far off Walker. It's an inch taller and 10 pounds heavier. They called him the Capital Punisher because he played for Washington.
I like that.
Great nickname.
Nolan Gorman needs to get back in the lab. That's from Jonathan Sutter. He is in
probably
the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat with 250 of his closest friends. And they're in there talking about it right now, Doug.
How long will they stick with him? This is year 5?
Especially when you're getting production at the minor league level at 2 of the spots where they have issues.
Yeah.
I mean, your top 2 minor league hitters at AAA are a third baseman and a catcher. So I wonder.
Gorman had 27 homers in 2023. I think they just continue to think that that's what he should be doing. That was only in 119 games. So if he played almost every game, he figured he'd be up over 30.
Jonathan Sutter is on the same page with me. Both things can be true, that you can develop this team by bringing up AAA talent while still focusing on winning, because those guys will give you more offense possibly. That is from Jonathan Sutter, and he's having a big morning in the TMA STL YouTube channel.
And at some point, I think it's Ollie's conversation with Chaim Bloom as to, hey, give me a little more here. Like, we went into this thinking we're just not going to be very good. Just develop guys. Let's have as much fun as we can. But if you have a chance to win more nights, more often than not, I would, if I were Ollie, I'd be pushing Chaim and say, hey, let's call somebody up. At some point here, I think you're going to start thinking of what gives us the best chance to win, not sacrificing the future. But Jimmy Crooks is what? Was he 25, 26?
Yeah.
You're not calling up an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah, I think if you're in the mix, you got to go for it. You don't know how many years you're going to be in this position. We've seen before in 2006 and probably 2011 too, those weren't the best Cardinal teams, yet they won the whole thing. And then we saw them years when we think they did have the best team in baseball and didn't win. So any year you got a shot and you're in the running, you got to go for it. Even if when the season started you didn't think you had much of a chance.
And you're not mortgaging the future. You're, in fact, you're rewarding somebody at the minor league level. Now, Pages is a popular guy. How many times McGreevy talked about golfing? Pages is part of the group. I'm not saying that should matter, golfing buddies, but in the room, that's the thing that they're always constantly navigating too. The chemistry that's working, everybody gets along. But at some point, if the guy doesn't catch well defensively, then he doesn't have value.
Yeah, if the pitchers are telling you this is the guy we want to throw to, I'm sure that carries a lot of weight. Probably more than a guy who might come up and hit a little bit more.
Doug, on your biggest player, can you believe that Paul Skeens is listed 6'6", 260?
Is he really?
260. Does he
I didn't
look
think-
big, 10 pounds heavier than Jordan Walker?
No, not to me.
Odd.
Because usually they lie in the other direction. It's way too light.
Right, and he's 23. I figured he'd be like a 6'6", 210 kind of guy.
Randy Johnson's got to be maybe the tallest ever. Was he 6'10"?
Yeah, on the mound they said he looked like he was about 7'2".
Yeah, I don't know if there's ever been a 7-foot tall major leaguer.
Doug Jonathan Sutterer continuing in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, and he's going to get a game ball today, this Sutterer. I mean, Ali even said it in himself in the audio from Papers. They are mad that they didn't win the series. The clubhouse is obviously focusing on winning now and wants help to do that. Jonathan Sutter, Michelob Ultra YouTube chat.
Okay,
Martin, the Dotem being the timeline of approximately a quarter of the way through the season. Any chance that they would make that move for either Crooks or Jordan?
I still feel like they'll wait.
Yeah.
Although the Dotem is a measuring stick.
It always has been. It always has been for a
They'll
decade.
watch and see what happens in the golf tournament, see who wins, see who performs well, and then make their decisions based on that.
I think they like it as a
Away in the doubleheader, is it pretty easy to brush this one under the rug and focus all the attention of this weekend?
No, this one ticks me off a little bit.
Okay.
I like a long, elongated question, though, with lots of options.
I think the ones you brush off are when you lose like 12-0 or something. You just come to the realization that you're going to have those days. Don't dwell on it. Move on.
And that Wednesday game where Plante gave up 4 in the first, and the rest of the game was just get it over
Yeah,
with.
we got a 4-hour flight.
Let's go, boys.
We'll
We're having
move
a good
on.
year.
Okay,
When
I'll
you-
roll over to second. You roll over to short. All right, I'll see you on the plane. Yesterday, you're on the verge of winning and going, what? It would have been 10-6? Is that right?
Yeah.
10-6
Remember the
over
17-game stretch where it was 17 straight,
But there
all
was a rain
quality
out,
opponents. Yeah, the
and
rain
you
out.
take 5 of 7 from the Padres and Dodgers, 2 legitimate World Series contenders, and you have that happen when you're a strike away from an off day. Yeah, it sucks. That absolutely sucks. And I think that's but as you made the observation earlier in the Healthcare Evolution 7 o'clock hour, Martin, it's great that we haven't read anything about Bill DeWitt spending, John Mazzelak, whatever it would
Fetty.
be. Yeah, it's just it's refreshing in that sense that the focus, and there is a focus on the team, and that there is emotion on the team as opposed to apathy, both from the team and from the fan base. At 7:47 in St. Louis, time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. And the 7 o'clock hour is brought to you by Healthcare Evolution, online at healthcare-evolution.com. That's Logan Taylor's company. And if you are dealing with an injury, we have a solution for you at Healthcare Evolution, especially in the month of May, a knee injury, because if you're a TMA listener and you let them know that, you get 10% off any knee issues at Healthcare Evolution. They deliver real answers and same-day pain relief for most of your medical issues. No waiting on appointments, no waiting on answers, no insurance hassles. Healthcare Evolution will give you real answers and same-day pain relief on the spot. Get rid of those nagging injuries. Are you trying to avoid surgery? Healthcare Evolution is an option before going to surgery. And for the month of May only, TMA listeners get a 10% discount on any knee issues. It's healthcare-evolution.com. Go to healthcare-evolution.com and see firsthand the same benefits I've received from Healthcare Evolution, sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN from the Stiefel Studios.
Looking for a new car this summer? Get that car at AutoLoanPro.com. You'll get the best deals possible. Doesn't matter what your situation is. They've got cars available online, and no matter what the credit is, they'll get you the lowest rate possible, little to no money down. That's what they do every day at AutoLoanPro.com. All you need to know is to choose the Pro. It's part of the Lita family. They've got a playbook on that website. So all the cars are listed right there. Robert Thomas on the site, and then the free playbook that explains to you how the credit industry works, explains it so that the next time around, get a different car. You're improving your credit while also getting a vehicle to use right away. AutoLoanPro.com works with over 50 different lenders. That's how they shop around to get the very best rates possible to you. One site has it all. So whatever the situation, doesn't matter. Get that car. Start shopping online at AutoLoanPro.com.
This is Jackson with a Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals lose yesterday to the Padres, splitting the 4-game series. Off today, back in action tomorrow as they take on the Athletics in Sacramento. That's going to be an 8:40 p.m. first pitch with Andre Puente towing the slab for the Redbirds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Well, Doug, it was controversial when you selected the Cardinals Padres as the lifetime roofing lead.
Yeah.
A lot of pushback considering the 1-0 victory. The Battlehawks and their response to the criticism of the UFL owner by claiming victory on Friday. No mention of Wemby's elbow yet.
No.
Right into Naz Reid's Adam's apple.
He threw his elbow into an Adam's apple?
Yeah.
And it was the elbow that got hurt?
Sounds like you realize that was the lifetime roofing lead.
His elbow didn't get hurt. Naz Reid went down like a sack of potatoes, and Wemby got the old flagrant 2.
Who's winning the title, paper, right now, after what you've seen? Who do you think's winning the
Oklahoma
NBA?
City Thunder.
Without question.
Yep.
Okay.
Despite the Knicks dominating in their series.
4-0.
Not even having close games.
No. Just whooping
Is this
that
the
ass.
end? Is this the end of the process? We'll tell you coming up in the 9 o'clock hour.
I like that little sound at the end of that. Yeah. We should maybe work on that. I'll try to do that.
I just think there's some people who have it and some don't.
Battlehawks are now tied for first. Yeah. Did that work?
Sounds like you're having a stroke.
Yeah. Been there, done that.
Oh, a little close to home. Sorry, I recant the comment.
If you're unhappy with Doug's selection of the Cardinals and Padres over the Doggies, the Battlehawks, Wemby's elbow, how about L'Habitant and the emotions of the Sabres, Doug? Take your pick. Listen, it's all there. 314-399-9646. You can dictate the power of the presentation's topic by calling Collier and Thompson. Phone lines 314-974-0101. It's Lifetime Roofing, new sponsor here on TMA, serving the St. Louis metro area since 2005. It's a veteran-owned business. It's a locally owned business, and they only work in the St. Louis metropolitan area. They're not storm chasing all throughout the Midwest. It's not owned by out-of-towners, and it's certainly not corporate. It's St. Louis area and the community only. It's Lifetime Roofing at 314-800-0426 or go online at lifetimeroofingstl.com. Award-winning and A-plus rated Lifetime Roofing, new sponsor here on TMA, sponsor of the Lifetime Roofing Lead, online at lifetimeroofingstl.com. I went and did some sports this weekend. I went bass fishing. That's from Doug's Jockstrap. So there was another competition for the Lifetime Roofing Lead after 45 minutes of Cardinal conversation. Doug's Jockstrap would like to talk about his fishing.
I wonder where he went. Probably the lake. I'm just afraid I'm not going to be much good to you much longer. I'm kind of running out of gas here, Tim.
What's the problem?
I had a rough night.
What happened? Did you get all lit up at Billy G's?
Middle of the night, I heard a horrific sound in our house. Got out of bed. It sounded as though a truck loaded with explosives drove through my back door. I mean, it was the loudest sound that I've heard in the middle of the night. So I looked at the clock, 1:15. I wanted to mark the time for the hour of my death. So I started looking around the house. Nothing anywhere. I go in the basement expecting to get the cleaver in the forehead from some mystery man. No, nothing. Then I went back upstairs, looked around in the bathroom, and it was just this plastic thing that holds shampoo and conditioner that suctions onto the side of the shower. That had fallen.
Like a shower caddy.
It sounded like a bomb went off in the house.
And it just slipped once and for all.
Yeah. So I didn't get to sleep again for another hour or so. So you guys take it from here. No, I'm not going to be much good to you. It's not after that. I'm not.
Well, the good news is, Doug, you'll be done in, let's see, 4 hours and 1 minute.
Okay.
So just count it down.
Okay.
I think you'll carry the load late.
Well, I hope so. It is, after all, the Strode program.
Oh, my Lord. Doug, what is wrong with you?
Well, is that caller Ellen calling in?
It was.
And then trying to go back to sleep, you start worrying about the alarm, and but it's not time to get up if you fall back asleep.
How could a foot-long piece of plastic fall and cause that kind of noise? Now, what's that?
It's Joe Kelly, formerly the Cardinals at spring training. You could hear the birds chirping like he was playing the 13th at Augusta National.
I always thought that was Chuck. I really did. Charlie A. Context? Joe Kelly?
No, someone was asking him a question. He found it riveting, I guess.
Sounds like Doug's shower dilly exploded from the Maplewood mud muffler.
Yeah, Doug, you got to unplug
It's just
that
a little
first.
plastic shelf. It literally sounded like a bomb went off.
Do you keep anything in your room for protection, like a old 7-iron or something?
Baseball bat.
Yeah.
You should have made your wife get up and go look. That's from the prosthetist. What a wonderful Mother's Day treat that would have been.
It's not Mother's Day anymore. It's past midnight. Go check.
A few years back, I heard the garage door go up in the middle of the night. And I thought, oh, that can't be a good thing. And yet I was too tired to get up and go take a look. I said, well. I just rolled over and went back to sleep.
Man, that's championship caliber right there.
Well, I have a carport.
We are overdue for another Rich Gould visit, but he could tell you the story how he woke up in the middle of the night and tackled the intruder in his living room. But it turns out it was a cardboard cutout of Will Ferrell.
Oh, yeah, that was from the book.
That
was from his book, wasn't it?
He actually tackled him. He ran up and
there was
launched
something
himself.
at Christmas where his family put up a giant cardboard cutout of like Elf, Will Ferrell, or something like that, and then he tackled it in the middle of the night.
They're calling in about it. And
nice.
Chairman Kurt, what do we have going on here?
We have Steve from Birmingham.
Doug, Steve from Birmingham is on the Callier and
205?
Thompson phone line. Steve, good morning. You're on with Doug Vaughn.
Hello, Stevie.
Hi, good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Oh, we're fine. You?
Oh, doing great, thanks.
Is that the 205?
Is that it? He hung up. He hung up.
Well, he's doing okay, at least. We got that.
Steve from Birmingham calling in.
If it's a wellness check, he's okay.
He hung up.
All right, call in. Let us know how you're doing.
He threw one pitch and his arm blew out.
Drugs in D.C. didn't like what he heard. This guy blows ass. Drugs in D.C. That's all it takes.
No,
First caller ever.
That was going to be a good one. Steve, call back in.
Oh, no.
What do you got for a hint there? As chairman, you say it's going to be a good one.
Oh, I don't want to step on Steve. I'm going to let him do his thing.
Okay.
And was he in fact from the 205?
It didn't show the area code, but he declared himself Birmingham.
Yeah, well, okay, who cares when you strike out 80% of the time? It doesn't really matter when you don't benefit the team consistently. I mean, you can't play a corner infielder who can't hit 200. Let's be honest. There's no benefit to the team.
Steve, who were some of your contemporaries when you were in the Cardinals? Anybody of note that moved along? Just curious, back in the day.
Well, yeah. Well, I think Vince Coleman obviously came up afterwards. I wasn't there when some of the pitchers were there, but I got to play with some guys that were great athletes. But when it came time for moving up to the next level, mentally, just couldn't handle it. I just had bad injuries. It's just one of those things. You got to be healthy. You got to stay healthy. You got to be sharp. And some people can do it. Some people are exceptional at it, and some people just can't make that next step.
Are there any Cardinal players
also,
that you look at and say, this guy does do it the right way? He is fundamentally sound?
I think Weatherholt, honestly, especially for a rookie, really impresses me. He really does. I think the kid, especially his approach at the plate, he starts with an open stance, but then he closes it up to make contact, and he'll go the other way. He'll go with the pitch.
Doug, that's a good piece of hitting.
Yeah.
Oh, we like that.
You always have to say that.
He's fundamentally, it looks like he can be a very, very, very good player. The rest of them pull off the ball. They're trying to hit the ball out of the park every time, and again, I hate to harp on it, but you watch these Braves hitters, especially O'Neill. These kids stand up there squared to the plate, stride straight, and put the ball wherever it's pitched. They put it in play, right field, right center, left field. They'll pull. I mean, they're good hitters, not just swingers. And they're outfielders. They play fundamentally sound. They surround fly balls. they hit cutoff men. It's just there's a difference between those that are hope to make the playoffs and those that know they're going to make the playoffs. And it doesn't mean you have to have the highest payroll in baseball.
Steve, are you a regular listener to the Morning After this program?
Yes, I am. I drive in every morning and tune you guys in.
All right. I didn't know if you were disappointed that we didn't always break it down. Sometimes we stray.
No. Look, you guys do a great job. I love listening to you. I try to watch the Cardinals as often as I can. It just breaks my heart when they they didn't throw a game away, but I mean, they should have won that game. One strike away, like you said, they should have won that game. But they're going to win games like that, and they're going to lose games like that. That's why it's a long season, and you put it behind you. But you got to do the fundamentals right.
One last question for you, Steve. With Jugs in D.C., so if you're a long-time listener, he is a regular texter, said it's free money at plus 350 that the Cardinals make the playoffs. You were in the organization. You watch it closely. You're a loyal listener. Would you say the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs?
If it also comes down to injuries. If the pitching can hold up, and I think it's a big if, but if the pitching can hold up, I think there's a chance. But, you know as well as I do, a lot of times, arms get weary and key players go down. I just don't see the depth to fill those gaps in the event somebody goes down. So I would say I would not do it. I would not put my money on it this year. I mean, if just being practical, I think next year there's a much better chance, obviously. But knowing how long of a season it is and how injuries really affect the team, of course it goes for every other team too. But my heart says yes. My head says probably not this year.
All right. Doug, there he is. That's Steve, a polarizing figure. Some people loved him in the Air Comfort Service text inbox. Steve, thank you for the call. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you so much, Yellen.
All right, Steve. Doug, you know what he is? He's a Southern gentleman.
He sure is.
Now, unfortunately, somebody called him a cousin humper, and I made sure not to read that.
Gosh.
But I'll tell you this. Joe Buck listened to the program. He said, this guy is dead right. How about that?
Yeah, about the fundamental play.
And he said he could have him as a weekly correspondent, but he's not better than Pestis from Festus.
No, he
Joe
isn't.
Buck is a Pestis from Festus endorser, but he liked Steve's observations. How about that?
We don't really have room for regular callers and contributors.
No more Belle Biv DeVoe.
What? Why not? I was genuinely interested to see who he came along with. Like, was he Jim Lindemann's roommate or something? I wanted a little more.
What a John Morris. Remember John Morris?
Made it to the bigs, yeah.
Well, but if you're in the low minors, most of the guys don't make it.
Well, no,
all
that's
the way.
what I agree. That's why I was hoping there was a guy that, hey, back in the day,
Yeah.
Kenny Obergefell and I were teammates.
Why are we listening to a high school baseball player who couldn't get into Auburn? Shut up and get back to work on the 4270 interchange. That's the Bridgeton landfill fuel muffler. I believe he was down in Birmingham, so he's probably not working.
Is Auburn hard to get into?
War Dam Eagle?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't graduate from Missouri. I don't feel like I'm in a position to talk.
Auburn acceptance rate sits at 46%.
And how does that comp with the rest of the SEC? I would imagine Vanderbilt. Doug, you think Vanderbilt, of course, is one. What's second? Florida?
Yeah, probably.
I think Florida's a good school. Florida?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So
Here's
Vandy.
Jackson's information, Martin.
Vandy is approximately 5.9 to 7%.
Okay.
Florida, 23 to 30.
Why do you
Georgia
think
is
it's
hard to get
third?
into.
I think Georgia's tough if you're out of state. Georgia.
Great call from the both of you. 32 to 40%.
I don't know where to go on 4. No, I mean, you're on a heater right
think
now.
hard.
Maybe Texas?
Doug is on it.
Okay.
That's nice. You had to go beyond the Missouri A&M entrance. You had to go to the Texas, Oklahoma. But where are you going 5?
Fifth,
I mean,
surprising.
okay.
Surprising.
And that means Tennessee because Jackson hates Tennessee.
My own souls.
You think they're just pumpkins.
It's not fair. I caught my son lying last night. It was so obvious. And I said, that's right. I got a lie detector in the basement. Now, Robert De Niro, meet the parents, whatever we need to do. Was that Terry Polo?
I
He said
wish I could help.
he had her Playboy, right?
I so wish I
They're
could help.
making
I
a new
don't-
Meet the Fockers, by the way.
With Ben Stiller in the De Niro role.
Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I know it did really well the last couple.
Yeah, it's been a bang-up job. De Niro's still in this one. And Terry Polo.
What?
The highest. You guys want to guess the
Where were we on
highest?
the list, buddy?
Let's just guess the highest now. Because the rest of them are about
highest
the same.
I mean,
Acceptance rate?
it's somebody from our friends in Mississippi.
This guy owns souls.
Mississippi State feels...
Oh, no.
No, it's the flagship.
Oh, no.
Really?
Yeah.
And now all hell's about to break loose.
Don't we have
from
some
Arbor
loyal-
Day and Mr. Licks.
Licks you.
Yep. I mean, Doug, Ole Miss, it's about to catch some strays, and it's going to be a tough show if you're hotty-totty for the next 2.5 hours.
What's
And
their
maybe
ex-
if it goes into after the morning after next 3.5 hours.
Even during. What's the acceptance rate?
Often around 96 to 97%.
Really?
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm rating.
You got teeth and a pencil? Come on down.
I feel like I could have gotten the first 4. Was Texas 4?
Texas 4.
Okay, I wouldn't have gotten Tennessee without my read on you, but I would have said somebody in either Starkville or Oxford was at 16.
It looks to be that if you get a 21 on your ACT,
Ooh, that's tough.
you're pretty much in.
It could be that Mississippi is one of those states where if you graduate from a Mississippi high school, you can automatically get in one of the state colleges. Kansas used to be that way. I don't know if they still are.
They describe it as nearly an open admission school.
Yeah.
Hottie Toddy has already texted in to issue a statement says, I am not phased. If you can fog a mirror, you can get into Ole Miss.
Fog a mirror.
I can't comprehend being proud of having a diploma from Ole Miss. That's from Jugs in D.C.
Okay.
And now all hell's breaking loose, as expected. If it would have been Mississippi State, everything would have been fine. We would have never mentioned that Ole Miss was 15th. But alas, Hail State, is Hail State 15?
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay, that's...
Well, I moved off the list.
Well, Mr. Licks, you're a fraud! That's from Chunk in the Chuck.
Where did Missouri rate?
I was
question,
thinking, isn't that the
Doug.
obvious? We're sitting here.
Actually, Kentucky is 15 at 95%.
Wow, how about that? Lexington, Doug.
14, Alabama.
Oh, I would have thought that had been tougher to get in.
Arkansas 13, Missouri at 12.
Oh, brother.
This was before Oklahoma. This list is pre-Oklahoma, Texas. This list I'm looking at right now. I was looking at a different list before.
Ole Miss is a glorified daycare. That's from Bridgeton Landfill Fuel.
That might be tough.
Mississippi State actually 70%, so considerably lower than its sister school.
There was a stretch maybe 10 years ago. A lot of St. Louis kids were going to Arkansas.
Yes.
Yeah, they were giving out some. It was like some in-state deal where you could get essentially could get in-state if you went to Arkansas. Which, good God bless.
Oh,
Oh, you're a true son. I see.
Yeah. Rough.
Yeah, they're not happy in the text inbox, and this, of course, triggered it. Jackson's SEC acceptance rate data following Steve, who knows ball but does not proudly proclaim himself as an Auburn graduate, as he was not able to get in. And Alan Badeville says that's probably one I would have kept in the holster. You're welcome to get involved on the program by texting in, calling in, talking it over with other TMA listeners, or by emailing in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Martin, that comes your way at 9:45. Seth Goldcamp's Design Air Heating and Cooling.
Love Seth Goldcamp and the entire team, and that's what it is. It's a team. When you meet the employees, you can tell that they are proud of the product, and Seth makes sure that they don't try and sell you things you don't need. When they're in your home, time to get it repaired, call the folks, get online, book it there. It's real simple. DesignerService.com. Get a maintenance check right now before summer takes hold. That air conditioning is going to be running nonstop for months at a time. Makes sense to get a little maintenance check, and you can do that with the best in the business, Design Air. Longtime employees who, again, love what they do, and there is a difference when you get them inside your home. They're going to get that job done right. We got the new furnace put in November. Absolutely no problems. The installation, totally professional. And then when it's done, they explain everything to you, walk you through it. I don't get all the technology. They explained it real simple. Who do I have, Doug? I had Joe and Joey. The team,
did you? Yeah.
The team of Joe and Joey. Doug likes to rank them. He's got the Vaughn index of sexiest.
Hard to beat Larry the
installers.
Silver Fox.
I just want the professionalism that comes with Design Air. You get them in, get things fixed, and sign up for one of those maintenance service plans. That way you're covered year-round, all your heating and cooling needs. It really is one choice. designairservice.com.
There it is. Design Air sponsor the email today. Send yours in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. This is TMA 101 ESPN.
Hey, Classic Air Care has a couple of May specials they want you to know about. One of them, of course, is just $89 maintenance check. That's it. They come to the house for less than $100. They can make sure that that unit has been checked out, cleaned out, is working properly. The differences in air temperature from the unit to where it's blowing out of the vent, the force of the air, all that stuff is ready to go for the hot summer. Now, the other thing they want you to know is this, is if you've been in the market for a new air conditioning unit and you want to make sure you get it done before the summer heat comes, they can take care of that for you, too. And as a matter of fact, they're running a special with no interest, no payments for a full year on them. So if you're saying, geez, I've needed to do this or this is going to be a problem, Well, don't worry about the budget. They've got it covered for you. They've got a way to make it affordable and easy for you. That's what they do. They take the pressure and the stress out of repairs, out of rebuilds, out of issues, straight out of it, so you can be comfortable in your own home. It's Classic Air Care. Book an appointment online at classicaircare.com. They've been making people comfortable since 1926.
It's TMA 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on this program, which broadcasts from the Stiefel Studios. Chairman Kurt taking your phone calls, and Chairman Kurt hit a home run with Steve from Birmingham, who got the official endorsement for his take from Joe Buck. How about that? You're welcome to call in as well. 314-974-0101. Callier and Thompson phone lines. And you can talk it over with other TMA listeners in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat. Kind of a fun thing that my dad put together this morning, where I am the only one on camera now. And I guess it's the right thing.
Jackson's been erased.
Jackson Martin and Doug were erased initially. Jackson is now gone, and now we have it the way it should be. Order has been restored.
I feel like we got snuffed out.
Joining us right now for his Monday hit here on 101 ESPN, Chris Kerber with us on the Callier and Thompson phone lines. Morning, Kerbs.
Morning, fellas. How are you?
We're wonderful. We have people texting in with real interest in what is going on with the Springfield T-Birds. They are getting things underway tomorrow in their series with Wilkes-Barre. Doug, that's the Penguins they're taking on?
Is that right?
That's right. What can you tell us about this, and what Blues fans who are hungering for hockey and the future can observe in this series?
You know, I was thinking about this a little bit last night, Tim. Like, imagine, you know, how, like major or minor league baseball, like all their playoff series and all that stuff, everything's done pretty much long before you get to the World Series, right? Hockey is just different, like it is in many ways. So here's a scenario where the big club has been done now for several weeks, and the minor league team is still going, and they're going on a run. So, like, imagine if, like, you know, last year the Cardinals are done, but then 3 weeks later, you know, you're seeing Jordan Walker and a group of other players still performing and playing well and having a chance to win, you know, their championship at the minor league level. And that's kind of what's going on here. For those that don't know, the American Hockey League is basically the AAA level of hockey when it comes to NHL structure, if you're comparing the two, you know, the sports into something that's at least understandable for them. But Steve Ott went down there. They were outside of a playoff spot. He got them rolling. He got them into a playoff spot some of the final days of the regular season. And then they win a best-of-3 series against Charlotte, who was a really good team. Then they won a best-of-5 series against the Providence Bruins, who were the best team in the league. And statistically, that upset is the largest upset in the history of the American Hockey League. And for other, you know, again, for perspective on that, there are American Hockey League teams, the Rochester American, or cities like Springfield. It was the Indians and the Falcons, now the T-Birds, things like that, that have been around for 80-plus years. I mean, the American Hockey League has been around for a long, long time. And that was the largest playoff upset from a point standpoint, as there were 38 points that separated these two teams in the regular season. So Steve Ott has them playing really, really well, and they move on to their division finals in this next series. And the coolest part about it is, you know, the work that Mike Ryder has done to help get this done, and the station in Springfield has been there along with Ryan Smith, their broadcaster, and starting with that last round, 101 has been airing these games, which has been awesome for St. Louis hockey fans.
And what players, Curbs, are most likely? I mean, I think we know the Eurochecks, but even like Zach Dean, I'd kind of forgotten about. Or what names are jumping out at you?
Well, you know, the first ones, yeah. Looking, the coolest part that they continue to go on this run is that after their junior seasons ended, both Jiricek and Carbonneau turned pro. And these are two guys that I think you have to say have a chance of making the Blues roster next year, or even if they start in Springfield or go down to Springfield at some point, they end up on the up and down ride to and from. So that's a good thing. There are other ones. Zach Dean is one that, he's the player that the Blues got in the Ivan Barbashev trade his just injuries and things have riddled his chances. So we'll see what happens with there. Dylan Dubé, was a player that the Blues signed to a PTO during the season, gave him a chance to restart his career, kind of like Vegas did with Carter Hart. And he has been playing really well. Tremendous reports coming there, from him. But whether it be Michael Buschinger, a defenseman that is, in his second full season and has made some real progress. And another one, so there's a handful of them, Martin, but one of them that kind of intrigues me is Peterson. He played, I think it was Boston College or Boston University, third round pick of the Blues, and has that kind of go through a brick wall, not the old enforcer type role, not a heavyweight, I would say, like an Olivier is in Columbus by any means, but has that attitude and just continues to progress. That, I was told last year that if he got a chance to come up, he might be one of those players that wouldn't let it go, and made sure that you just found a way that you had to keep him. So I'm excited to see his progress as well.
Is Carbonell still the top prospect, or is it someone else?
You know what? I got to think that kind of between him and Jiricek, there's the top two. I think, your top forward prospect right now probably is Carbonell, and then your top defensive prospect would be Jiricek. And there's a great, the Thunderbirds put it out there. I retweeted it, but in that game with both these guys turned pro, and then they, with them playing in an elimination game, or in a game where they could eliminate, the Providence Bruins, Steve Ott played both those players, and Carbonell Jiricek ends up throwing a huge kind of Bobby Plager-esque hip check and sent the guy flying. It was pretty awesome to see. So I would say those are the top two prospects that are going in that run right now.
You think Steve Ott will he get a sniff this summer when some jobs open, or is it a little more down the road? What's your gut?
You know what? If they continue this, I think he definitely continues to get some looks. I know that over the last few years, he has interviewed for some different jobs, and probably at least that I know of 3 or 4, and I got to think that there may even be a few more of them. But I loved his. He did an interview. I can't remember if it was with the Last Minute Blues podcast or where it was, but he did an interview, and I thought his line was the biggest thing he's learned is that he was ready for this job. Like, you've been an assistant for a while, and you're interviewing for some NHL jobs, and it was going to take a Doug Armstrong or somebody that really knows him just to give him a chance in the NHL, just because he didn't have head coaching experience. Then this opportunity came up. It was a great opportunity for him to go take it, and he's done really well with it. So if it's not this year, Martin, he continues to coach like this, it's just a matter of time before somebody gives him a chance.
As we sit here in the middle of May, the Blues front office, is their primary focus now on the draft? Is that what they're doing now?
I think the primary focus is on the draft, and the thing of it is when they were, you go back to about a month and a half in the season, and they looking like they could end up with a top 3, top 4, top 5 pick. They were clearly doing the work that was needed to scout those players and see what's going on. Now that they've, played themselves into the 11th overall pick, there's that next tier of players for them to really focus on. But the good news is they've got a real good handle on the top end of the draft if they decided that there's an opportunity and a trade partner to figure out how to move up in it. So, to me, that's the 2 primary focuses. Obviously, they're focused a lot on Springfield. That's a huge opportunity, when players can go on a run like that down there to learn at that level. And then the next big moment is a draft coming and how you manage it, because I think, again, like we've talked about it over the last couple of weeks, whether it be moving up by a trade, finding other players, finding other ways to improve the team, picking, using all 3 first-round picks, whatever it may be. this becomes really a franchise impactful draft, more so than most, I would think.
Would you expect him to try to move up?
I do in this case. I expect them to at least try. Now, I can convince myself to think that there's reasons that a handful of teams have a reason to trade out of some of those higher picks, but they've just got all the assets. They've got players on the NHL roster. They've got prospects, and then they've got a plethora of picks, to be able to use. So, look, whether or not they find somebody to move into the top 3, top 4, top 5, but if they really value a player at 7 or 8, I could see him doing it. And look, I think a great example might be, in 2006 they took Eric Johnson, right? Now hindsight would tell you they probably should have kept the pick, but if you look at where the San Jose Sharks were in 2007, they jumped up and they traded. This actually might have been 2009. They traded with the Blues, right? Because the Blues ended up with the 9th overall pick, and San Jose jumped in, and San Jose took Logan Couture. A couple picks later, I think it was Lars Eller for the St. Louis Blues, right? So San Jose valued Logan Couture enough to make a trade like that, and to me, that's where I see. So I don't know that there's a team willing to say move out of the top 3, move out of the top 5. But if you get into that range, because, say, the Florida Panthers are in there, right, and they've got such a stacked roster with where it is and stuff like that, if there's somebody that can help them, rebound right back into the playoffs, yeah, do you end up jumping into 9? Do you jump to 8 or 7 or 6? I think all that is very much possible and more likely this year, in my opinion, than maybe in years past for teams.
Chris Kerber with us here on 101 ESPN, joining us on the Callier and Thompson phone lines. Kerbs, we appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. Have an awesome week.
That's Chris Kerber with us here on TMA 101 ESPN. Miss anything? You can podcast like the Dickens. Doug, you can do that with the Schaefer Door Company podcasts.
Yeah, well, Schaefer Door is a good company to know because sooner or later everybody's going to have some kind of problem with the garage door. Even if you run a business or a warehouse and have those big giant doors, Schaefer is experienced in those types of jobs as well. They service all kinds of garage doors and they do new installs with LiftMaster. LiftMaster garage door openers are strong, quiet, and versatile. That's what you want. The business has multiple family members that have worked there for many years. They're big enough to get any kind of job done, small enough that when you call them, you'll talk to a real person on the phone who will get you taken care of. And they have that special Monday morning standby service for doors that break over the weekend. I'm sure Schaefer Door, very busy out there this morning. The service tech's not commission-based, not going to try to sell you something that you don't need. It's just the best company in town to handle any kind of issue you might have with your garage door. That's Schaefer Door Company. The website is schaeferdoor.com. Schaefer Door is a LiftMaster partner.
The program's called The Morning After. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN from the Stiefel Studios. Roof restores online at notanewroof.com or by calling 314-279-ROOF. Roof Restore is a locally owned business with decades of experience in the roofing business. And what Roof Restore does is treats and maintains existing asphalt shingled roofs, adding up to 15 years to the life of your existing roof at a tiny fraction of the cost of replacement. It's 90% less than the cost of a roof replacement and guaranteed to extend the life of your roof by up to 15 years. I had Roof Restore at my house last month, and man, do I now understand the importance of roof maintenance. We make sure that we get our cars maintained with service checks and oil change, but we don't do that with our homes, and especially our biggest potential risk, the roofs on our homes. Well, this is what Roof Restore is all about. You can find out more and treat your roof and extend the life of your roof with Michael Mahoney and his team at notanewroof.com. Well, we have some breaking news here, and this is serious. In the commercial break, all three of us received an email from the University of Missouri, and it says the following: Mizzou football statement from Mizzou Athletics on Ahmad Hardy. Mizzou football student-athlete Ahmad Hardy was the victim of a shooting at a concert in Mississippi early Sunday morning and sustained a gunshot wound. Ahmad underwent surgery Sunday in Mississippi and is in stable condition. Ahmad is deeply loved by his teammates, coaches, friends, family, and fans. We will continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time, offering our love, prayers, strength, and support. A timeline for his return to football activities is unknown at this time. Mizzou Athletics will provide more information on his status when it becomes available. That was sent literally 5 minutes ago by the University of Missouri. I went to Power Mizzou to see if Gabe DeArmond had anything on this, and he learned of it when we did. So this news just from the University of Missouri that Ahmad Hardy was shot on early Sunday morning and went through surgery on Sunday in Mississippi and is listed in stable condition. That from the University of Missouri.
Well, that doesn't sound good, does it? At this point, you can't worry about, is he going to be available to play this fall? You worry about his long-term health. And first of all, you got to survive the shooting and the surgery. I see he just had a child 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's correct.
So yeah, that's a tough blow.
It's hard to know from a statement, which is a bunch of words us reading, but it just sounded kind of very serious. And obviously, you get any type of gunshot wound, it's going to be serious. It just, the tone seemed very serious there when they said he's deeply loved by his teammates, his coaches, friends. We'll continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time.
It doesn't mention where he got shot, right? What part of his body he got hit?
Right.
No.
Wow.
So the statement from the University of Missouri, once again, just sent 5 minutes ago. Mizzou football student-athlete Ahmad Hardy was the victim of a shooting at a concert in Mississippi early Sunday morning and sustained a gunshot wound. Ahmad underwent surgery Sunday in Mississippi and is in stable condition. Ahmad is deeply loved by his teammates, coaches, friends, family, and fans. We will continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time, offering our love, prayers, strength, and support. A timeline for his return to football activities is unknown at this time. Mizzou Athletics will provide more information on his status when it becomes available. We had somebody on here within the last couple of weeks. I don't know if it was Gabe talking, maybe you guys can recall, but talking about the possibility of him shooting up draft boards to be a first-round pick with that kind of talent that he displayed last year. And as Doug mentioned, or Martin, you mentioned that he just had a child here a couple of months ago. And yes, I would agree. We're reading between the lines on a statement, but that is a serious statement. You see statements sometimes that, kind of have the upkick there at the end that everything is going to be all right. That is not necessarily the tone of that statement.
Yeah, it's impossible to know from the statement what's going on entirely, but there did seem to be, and when these are put out by big corporations or big universities, they spend a lot of time going over the wording and the phrasing. It's usually chosen very specifically, so it did sound to be, it sounds like a very serious matter. I mean, maybe there'll be a further update later in the day. Certainly now that they've put it out there, everybody's going to want to know more. Mm-hmm. Maybe later in the day at some point, maybe there'll be a further update. But it does sound serious. So
I would think they'd have to update. There's going to be so many people wondering and, praying for him. They're going to want to keep people updated, I would think. I hope so anyway.
You're welcome to give your thoughts, 314-399-9646. That's how you can text in. You're also welcome to call in at 314-974-0101, Collier and Thompson phone lines. And you can talk it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, youtube.com/TMA-STL. This is TMA 101 ESPN.
This is Jackson with the Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Timberwolves beat the Spurs last night 114-109, evening the series at 2 games apiece. Anthony Edwards with 36 points and 6 rebounds. That was another Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Welcome back to the Morning After, 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. It is 8:55 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals losing yesterday, and literally one strike away from taking 3 of 4 from the Padres, which would have meant taking 5 of 7 from the Dodgers and Padres in back-to-back weekends, and Cardinal fans being on an absolute high going into the off day while the team gets ready to take on the A's in Sacramento before coming back to St. Louis for the Royals this weekend. But alas, it did not work out. Nonetheless, a good weekend in San Diego that could have been a great weekend with both the losses Saturday and Sunday on the verge of being wonderful wins, especially considering the starting pitching that they have gotten. By the way, I know O'Brien was certainly the focal point with giving up that home run, but it was good to see Stanek and Soriano have solid weekends as well. Soriano's becoming a presence.
He's really good.
Stanek feels hit or miss still, kind of like you don't trust him yet. I think Soriano, you see him coming in, you trust him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
5 shutout innings from Leahy. Maybe he's 5 shutty. I don't think anybody expected too much from him as a 5th starter this year, but he's been pretty good here lately.
Still feels like the bullpen is where his season will end up. Long reliever.
I don't know who else they got that could go 5 shutout innings right now.
But your starters are largely keeping you in games. And I've said this before. If you looked on paper around the league, like who do they got? Palante, Leahy, like even Liberatore, May, McGreevy, nobody would say, wow, that's a great rotation. But it's mostly keeping them in games. And then it's coming down to bullpen decisions and guys getting it done.
Meanwhile, it is not going particularly well for St. Louisan. Friend of Michael Wellington's, who is going to be with us on Thursday, is the Dotem coming up this Friday, is partnering with his charity, Birdies for Bipolar. The San Francisco Giants, Doug, they did win yesterday, but they continue to flop around at 16 and 24. Yeah. They got worked over by the Pirates over the weekend, and there were a lot of boos. And the headline story this morning is on Buster Posey and his run as the president of baseball operations there, and then Tony Vitello catching hell. He was asked about the boos for his Giants following the loss on Saturday.
Well, what would you do if they paid for their ticket, or they, at the very least, even if it was free, they chose this over everything? I mean, there's 85 million shows you can watch on Netflix or every other deal there is, or in this city. I haven't gone out much, but anytime I have, there's a lot going on. So, and then also, I kind of grew up in a weird situation. I never had one team that, was deeply rooted in my family and passed down. I've seen it in college and in pro sports, but I don't know. I kind of had a little different deal going on. So whether it's you paid for your ticket or you just chose to do this, over other options, or maybe your walls are painted orange and black and this is the team your whole family for generations has supported, you got a lot invested, so you want something in return. At the very least, a good effort, maybe execution here and there. So now, would also like in turn, it's almost like a teammate thing, which sounds silly. In turn, realize that there's just some big boys in their lineup, and it's a challenging game. You're not going to be perfect all the time, and might be some things you wish you could redo, and a play you might, kind of sit on a different pitch, whatever it might be. But I think it got to the point where it wasn't an acceptable effort. So they probably did what you or I would maybe do. I don't know that I'd do that. Always try and be as positive as possible, but I think it's pretty realistic And if anything, maybe in a reverse psychology, provides a little extra motivation.
Tony Vitello following his team being booed off the field in San Francisco. For the record, no team in baseball has scored fewer runs than the Giants. They have played 40 games. They have scored 130 runs. The team that is next closest to them, the Mets, also having their issues at 15 and 25. They scored 139 runs. Just for comparison's sake, the Cardinals have scored 186, which puts them 10th overall.
Even the Nats, who are terrible, have scored 87 more runs than the Giants. I thought it was a pretty thorough, pretty honest answer. I'm kind of surprised he said he didn't grow up rooting because he's a St. Louis guy. I'm surprised he wouldn't have been like a diehard Cardinal fan. Maybe
probably careful not to say that.
Right, and that's why I wondered if he avoided that. But it's the worst scenario for him. It's a controversial hire in the first place. College coach, highly successful college coach, but no MLB on the resume, which ticks off the established, I think Joe Madden was one of the first to come out against the hire. They since have talked, but you were always going to be kind of critiqued. What kind of crazy hire is this? Now, Buster Posey is legendary in San Francisco. So if this is his hire, so at some point he's probably the one who needs to take some of the bullets because he is probably more of a Teflon target than Vitello. But people that didn't like the hire, this is just feeding into that for sure.
Over the weekend, they traded first-round pick plus a left-handed pitching prospect for Bailey, Patrick Bailey, who's a Gold Glover. He's a catcher hitting 146. But the Guardians, as this article in The Athletic by Ken Rosenthal details, were celebrating the trade as if they had just won the draft lottery. Guardians manager Stephen Vogt said he received texts from 8 or 9 members of the Giants organization raving about Bailey. President of baseball operations, Chris Antonetti, said Orioles manager, who's a former Giants hitting coach and Guardians bench coach, asked him, now you acquire him after I leave? In other words, in San Francisco and around baseball, they're going, oh, my God, you guys got this guy. So Buster Posey, both for the Vitello hiring, now this trade, which for, I would imagine, the casual fan, they're going, who is this guy? Why? He's hitting $146. Who cares? But it did, you're this early in the season, you're making this move, and it's not like you're doing anything offensively. I mean, they are last in baseball in walks and tied for last in home runs, in addition to a record that is terrible.
When you don't score any runs, and boy, they're not scoring much, the team just looks flat. You can't get anything going. You can't get any excitement in the crowd. Everybody looks bad when you don't score any runs. And until they start to fix that. Willie Adames has had a horrible year. He was very good last year. Rafael Devers hadn't done anything. Matt Chapman hadn't done anything. Their big guns are really coming up empty.
And there was a video online this weekend. You never know anymore what's accurate, but they said Vitello called down to the bullpen, but it wasn't clear who's supposed to come in. And you see both relievers kind of waving like which one of us is coming into the game. That sort of stuff makes him look bad. But there were also comments that said, no, they knew who was being asked to come in. They were trying to make him look bad.
Oh, jeez.
And I don't know. Again, if that were taking place, then you've got problems in the room. When they made the hire, Vitello said that La Russa was one of the people who called him and congratulated him on the opportunity. And I asked Tony about, because La Russa doesn't know Vitello, but he said, I trust Posey. And it was Buster Posey's decision to go that route. You got to just weather the storm. It's like a bad loss Sunday. You got to it hurts for a while. You got to kind of just eat it. And I think if you're the Giants and Vitello, you just got to keep plugging away.
Your thoughts are welcome at 314-399-9646. We have an update on the Ahmad Hardy news. Once again, for those of you just joining us, the University of Missouri sent out the following statement at 8:41. We were discussing it at 8:45 on this program. Mizzou football student athlete Ahmad Hardy was the victim of a shooting at a concert in Mississippi early Sunday morning and sustained a gunshot wound. Ahmad underwent surgery Sunday in Mississippi and is in stable condition. Ahmad is deeply loved by his teammates, coaches, friends, family, and fans. We will continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time, offering our love, prayers, strength, and support. A timeline for his return to football activities is unknown at this time. Mizzou Athletics will provide more information on his status when it becomes available. An update on that coming up next here on TMA 101 ESPN. It's the Morning After 101 ESPN. The big breaking news this morning from the University of Missouri. A statement issued that Ahmad Hardy was the victim of a shooting at a concert in Mississippi early Sunday morning and sustained a gunshot wound. Also in the statement, the university says Ahmad Hardy underwent surgery Sunday in Mississippi and is in stable condition. There is no information at this point with regard to his return for football activities. This just sent out to our emails at 8:41 this morning. There is a story from WAPT, which is the ABC affiliate in Mississippi. And this is where the event took place, and I think you can take some good news from this story. Gunfire erupted after a concert in Mississippi, resulting in at least 14 people being injured. The chief of police in Clarksdale said the shooting happened early Sunday morning. No arrests have been made. One woman suffered a serious leg injury, but police said the other injuries are not life-threatening. Police said the shooting stemmed from an altercation between a group of people who live in the area. The chief said the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, ATF, and the county sheriff's office are helping with the investigation. But the key part of that story from the ABC affiliate in Mississippi is that none of the other injuries are life-threatening. So Ahmad Hardy listed in stable condition after surgery yesterday after being shot in Mississippi.
And a total of 14 were shot?
Per the story, 14 people were shot.
Jesus.
Man, it feels like it's not safe to go anywhere anymore. You just never know when craziness is going to erupt. He's from that area. I guess he's from Oma, Mississippi.
Well, you hope for his, first of all, is he okay? Quality of life. You go down all these lists before you get to, can he play football again? That's way down the road. But hopefully you survive it, and then hopefully it's not a devastating injury just for your quality of life, beyond football even.
Yeah. Tragic, and this is a guy just on the verge of making, enough money to take care of his family and everyone around him. We don't know where he got shot, and maybe he'll still be able to do that. We certainly hope so. Don't know yet.
It's such a great recruit, great story. I mean, when they got him, and then he stayed. There was offers for him to leave. Remember that? He was one of the first ones to recommit, to stick with Mizzou after just a monster season. Kid just built like a rock. So, obviously, rooting for him, all the best. First and foremost, you want him to be okay. Then it's about quality of life. What is the injury that he sustained? Because even though hopefully that's all accurate, that it's not life-threatening, including him. And then you say, okay, but what did happen? Hopefully your quality of life is not altered by this.
Pete Thamel with this just moments ago. Per an ESPN source, there is optimism that Ahmad Hardy will play football again.
Okay.
How quickly he can return and the impact is not known. He is alert today and he is moving around. That's from Pete Thamel on the Twitter tweets.
Okay. Well, that's encouraging as well.
Yeah.
I think on all of these stories, you always sort of start by fearing the worst and then you hope for the best.
Yeah, if you're moving around a day after surgery, you must be doing pretty well.
And Pete Thamel is extremely plugged in, so I would say that's from a highly credible source if I had to wager.
Yeah, I would agree on that. Your thoughts are welcome. 314-399-9646. That is how you can text in. 314-974-0101. Collier and Thompson phone lines. And then you can email in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, which comes your way on the Polos Plus dossier in approximately 30 minutes. That is how you can email in and compete with the greats the morning after at InsideSTL.com. The program is brought to you by Brown and Crouppen. Brown and Crouppen is local, founded in 1979, serving St. Louis for over 45 years and helping the injured in St. Louis get justice for over 45 years. To the insurance company or just a claim number. To your team at Brown and Crouppen, you are a person with a name that Brown and Crouppen cares about and will fight for. Don't you want a local law firm, one that knows how to handle the big national insurance companies and the local courts? It's Brown and Crouppen, part of our community. After an accident, money is tight, and that's why they offer so much for free. You can always call for free any day, anytime. Your first consultation is always free. They come to you for free, whether it's at home or in the hospital. If you think you may need Brown and Crouppen services, call 314-222-2222 or go to getbc.com and make sure you let them know you heard about them on TMA. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord. The program's called The Morning After. It's presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN. We welcome another new sponsor here on the Morning After, and that is Michael's Baths. At Michael's Baths, they create elevated bathroom spaces that blend luxury, comfort, and smart design, all tailored to the way you live. Martin and I got a chance to talk it over with the people at Michael's Baths last week. Martin is actually working with Michael's Baths as we speak, and the thing that they want to focus on is that they really can save you money. From sleek tub to shower conversions to full high-end bathroom remodels, including paint and electrical, Michael's Baths handles every detail. And now they are offering a new premium wall option designed to bring a custom spa-like look to your home. With 30 years of experience, all 5-star reviews, an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, Michael's Baths delivers craftsmanship you can trust without gimmicks or high-pressure sales. Go to michaelsbaths.com. That's michaelsbaths.com or call 636-775-0800. Ask about financing options, including 0% interest upon approval. It's Michael's Baths, family-owned, insured, and where everyday bathrooms become something exceptional. After 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Martin Kilcoyne with you on the show. Jackson Burkett on the ones and twos. The story that broke just about a half hour ago here from the University of Missouri. Mizzou football student athlete Ahmad Hardy was the victim of a shooting at a concert in Mississippi early Sunday morning and sustained a gunshot wound. Ahmad underwent surgery Sunday in Mississippi and is in stable condition. Ahmad is deeply loved by his teammates, coaches, friends, family, and fans. We will continue to stand beside him and his family through this difficult time, offering our love, prayers, strength, and support. A timeline for his return to football activities is unknown at this time. Mizzou Athletics will provide more information on his status when it becomes available. Pete Thamel tweeted out an update after speaking with a source saying that he is expected to play football again and he is conscious and moving about. So along those lines, that is super encouraging considering the statement from the University of Missouri coming out about 8:40 this morning.
Yeah, the fact that they're saying he'll play football again would make you believe that there's no doubt that he's going to be okay, that it's not a life-threatening thing and not something that's going to keep him in the hospital long term. At least that's what I would kind of read into that.
I'm grateful.
Yeah, if you see that, yes.
Grateful for the Pete Thamel update because I think it lessens some of the speculation by all of us wondering what exactly happened, what is the severity. It's never great news, obviously, what took place, but that does sound like a huge positive update.
Yeah, when you read a statement and it talks about keeping him in your prayers, the love that the family, the friends, the teammates, the community has for him, you know, I know what I can speak to for myself because this is breaking news. We're learning it just at the same time as everybody else. Is this something where he might not get out of it? Again, listed as stable nonetheless. But you're right. Pete Thamel's tweet saying, per an ESPN source, there is optimism that Hardy will play football again, and how quickly he can return and the impact is not known, but he is alert today and he is moving around. And that comes after getting shot early Sunday morning. We had a link sent to us for the shooting in Mississippi. That was from 2023. So that was not the shooting that was involving Ahmad Hardy. That is a story that is making its way around social media. It was from a Mississippi affiliate, but that link was from 2023. The Pete Thamel, we can confirm, and he spoke with a high-placed source, and so that is what he is reporting, which is super encouraging considering everything that you see when you read a statement like that completely out of nowhere. So you can follow along Pete Thamel. I'm sure Gabe DeArmond will be all over it. I realize a lot of people would like us to hear from Gabe this morning, and that was my initial inclination as well. But I know when I went to Power Mizzou that Gabe was learning of it at the exact same time we are. He's not going to be in position to be doing interviews.
I mean, he did have surgery, so there was some severity to it.
Yes.
But again, grateful that the update, because in the moment you're discussing it, back of everyone's mind is a football thought, but you'll get to that later. And now with the update from a high-level source, I'm going to assume a high-level source for Pete Thamel saying that he's expected to play football again. That's kind of the unspoken in the back of everyone's mind. And then now, okay, that's great news. That also means that he must be doing much better.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly right.
I'm sure a horrific incident to be a part of. And he did have surgery, but apparently he's doing okay.
We will monitor it throughout the course of the morning here on 101 ESPN, and I'm sure BK and Ferrario and the Fast Lane will have that as well. Most of the focal point of the conversation today, because this news did not break until 8:41 with an email from the University of Missouri, the Cardinals and what took place yesterday afternoon in San Diego, and that was a heartbreaking loss. Here is the call of the game-tying home run.
In the air to deep left field. Back goes Church. Looking up. Gone! Game tied! Nick Castellanos ties it up. 2-2. Now that is an AB.
Calm down, Buster.
I mean, if the Cardinals would have done it.
Well, yeah, but I don't want to hear it.
But it is interesting that Don Orsillo, he used to be really quiet. He's changed it up. He was a longtime Red Sox announcer. He's now one of the guys who gets really excited, and he used to be kind of almost monotone.
Is that the Gus Johnson family tree?
I honestly don't know what happened, but maybe the Padres fans feed off of that. I don't know, but he did TBS games, but he was always very kind of understated, and now he's up there yelling.
How'd you guys like having not one, not two, but 3 different services to watch the Cardinal games this weekend?
4,
technically.
Yeah, 4.
The old 2 Fox coming through on Saturday with a freebie. Everything else was subscription based.
Yeah, I didn't care for it.
Yeah,
I canceled my Apple TV subscription just a few days before. So
you get done with your friends and neighbors?
No, I got done with nothing. I was watching nothing, so I said, "Why am I paying for
they
this?"
had some solid programming.
What programming do you like? Their papers?
Severance.
Doug, do you like Severance?
I don't have time to watch
Adam
everything.
Scott.
Fantastic. The Studio. Really good. Big
Seth Rogen, Catherine O'Hara's last role. Am I correct?
I just don't know. Ted Lasso, is that
Ted
coming out
Lasso,
again?
When is that coming out?
Shrinking. Ted Lasso comes out in August, season 4. Shrinking, just wrapping up their 3rd season.
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it's Jason Segel. So they got some solid programs. I will say, Apple TV, even though when you already pay for one service to get the Cardinal game and do it all over again, the way the broadcast looks on Apple TV is fantastic.
It really is.
It's fantastic.
It's like super high def.
Yeah, and like the field mics they use and everything, it's just like, I don't know, something about it. I like the very minimalist score bug. They don't have to put the probability of someone getting on base. Don't care. But all the other stuff is really good.
Yeah, I don't care about that either.
Why are you guys refusing to talk about Carano and Rousey? That's from the Gray Summit Gray Goose Guzzler.
They stepped in what now? Why are we talking about what?
Carano Rousey.
Carano Rousey.
Is it the fight?
Oh.
Doug and Jackson really don't know.
Well, I thought it was one person's name, not
Gina Carano, Ronda Rousey.
Nice.
Did that happen this last weekend?
No.
Okay. That's why we're not talking about it.
But we fell for it. Now we're talking about it. You want to talk about Rousey?
I will tell you, I need to close the loop on the story real quick.
Okay.
Close the loop.
Is that a segment you have now? From the desk of Jack B. Closing
the loop on the story. You guys remember down in spring training, I had lost my wallet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At Grove 23.
Oh, wow.
Well, was playing golf Saturday.
Of course.
You found it in the golf bag.
Oh, boy. Yeah, Mr. Theatrics over here.
Mr. Theatrics,
Fred Astaire over there.
Fred Astaire was a dancer.
I know, and yet, here you are giving me no opportunity to tap dance.
Oh, okay. I was guessing.
It's okay. I was looking for some bug spray. I was getting bit up, which I actually like because it's like, oh, summer's here. And I'm fishing through my golf bag looking for this bug dope, and all of a sudden I pull out.
There's
here.
the wallet.
There it is.
Oh,
and everything in there has been canceled.
Ain't a man in this bar who could take this wallet from me, except myself, I guess. So honestly, glad to get the wallet back because I like this wallet, but everything in there was useless.
Oh, really?
Well, my ID expired on my birthday, which was March last month, 2 months ago. So it didn't really matter, all the cards and stuff.
Well, aren't you glad you didn't go back to the club and look everywhere for a wallet that wasn't going to be
demand that the course that needed like 3 security checkpoints to get past would let me in to rummage through their cart barn to see if I left my wallet in there. I mean, I was with you guys down the Airbnb in Florida. No, I was in that Airbnb with you guys in Florida, and I completely went through my entire golf bag. I threw everything out of it.
Do you often put it in your golf bag, your wallet?
Yes, the exact spot. You know what it is, Tim? Remember when you had your one of your younger sons, your young son, drop a protein bar at the bottom of your bag?
Brutal.
And exploded and got all over your grips. We learned during that saga that there's like a little hole at the bottom of it.
There's a surprise hole.
Yeah.
Right, at the bottom of a golf bag.
Get that sponsored.
Yeah, there's a surprise hole. So in case you are to drop something through one of the club dividers in the bag, you can get it without having to remove every
like
club.
A sewer lid kind of thing, just opens
More or
up?
less, like a trap door.
Oh.
And I guess it slipped by the trap door. So it was I'd probably been dropping my driver shaft on it for the last 2 months. But I got it.
You don't want to be surprised by a hole.
Right, especially in this case. Yeah, the surprise hole got me.
What if Doug took it, had it the whole time, and then just inserted it back just to make you crazy?
That would be great. Yeah, that's wild. But nope, got it back. So,
Okay, well, congratulations.
Loop closed.
Good for
Consider
you.
the loop closed.
And you were going to call
Nice
down
to
to
hear.
Grove and say, "Hi, my name's Jackson. I played here back in February. Has anybody turned in a wallet?"
Yeah, can I get a temporary security checkpoint clearance so I can come look through your guys' cart barn?
You tell Coleman when he's done mediating Barkley Jordan, he go look for my wallet.
Yeah. Hey, Rory, when you're flying back from Aronimink, will you maybe go by Grove and see if my wallet's there?
Doesn't Closing the Loop sound like a Sunday afternoon sports radio, like golf show?
Yeah.
Skip Burpire presents Closing the Loop.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Jackson was so rattled at Grove 23. That's why he misplaced his wallet. That's from Big Tuft.
No, not the case. I didn't misplace it. I put it. It was exactly where I thought it would be.
That wallet is so thin, you could have just pretty much just kept it in your back pocket.
Yeah, that's why I like this wallet, because it's so thin. It's a front pocket wallet, as they call it.
Well, Jackson's club grips all greedy from the Mother's Day combination of fried chicken grease and foot lotion. Doug, that's from Arbor Day, 3-time texter of the year.
No, but I'm probably due for a re-gripping. How often are people out there getting their clubs re-gripped? You think every 3 years is about right?
Oh, my God.
Are you saying more often?
It depends on how much you play. If you play like twice a year, then no.
For
but
sure.
for as much as you play, brother.
How much are we talking here? Every year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Every year?
Well, wouldn't you say you play at least 4 times a month? And I would say probably closer to 6 to 8, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Yes, then that would every 3 years would be
all right. Well,
problem. And maybe that's the issue. And maybe all of a sudden that 7-iron is going to start flying 185.
No, I can assure you that my lack of distance is not due to my grips. I got them done like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
I have some gloves that haven't been re-gripped since the 60s.
Yeah, that's good.
Like original gloves I had as a kid.
Yeah.
Still sitting in the golf. I don't use them, but they never were re-gripped.
Yeah.
Papers, it's really a feel-good story, yet the text inbox seems focused on surprise hole. And is that name available?
A lot of people want that name, I see.
I'm just saying. Yeah, boy, you're going to have to really wait it out.
You have to remember, Monday, June 1st, is that 3 weeks from today? Be ready.
Something like that. Yeah, the surprise hole giveth and it taketh away.
Okay, clip that off.
And in this case, it did both.
Are there other situations where you run into a surprise hole?
Yeah, like if you're playing softball and you're in the outfield and there's a little drainage hole, that can cost you an ankle.
Didn't that happen to either Mickey Mantle or Joe DiMaggio?
Mantle. Like
Didn't Jordan Walker a couple years ago do that too? Remember that?
I think you're right.
When he almost ran to Dylan Carlson, or
They're
did
on
run
the
to
road
Dylan
somewhere.
Carlson.
Andy in St. Peter's is beside himself. Holy moly, Jackson, as much as you play, you should be re-gripping once or twice a year. That's
Twice a year. Twice a year. You want me to drop like $150 to re-grip once a year?
He's a grip elitist.
Crazy. I'll get him re-gripped before next season.
You do it yourself? Pretty easy.
My last time I did it before this one, yes. Though I have a buddy who works in golf who did it for me.
Sweet Kai.
No, my buddy Andy.
He's a Quail Hollow.
He's back now, but yeah.
You know, my pick on the spread zone was Rory McIlroy, but I was asked, and I have no idea why, who to pick on Friday, and I went with the very random Christopher Rayton, and then sure enough, he shipped it.
Yep.
Now, problematically, I didn't follow my own lead and bet him. However, Doug, were you monitoring the leaderboard yesterday morning at Quail Hollow?
I just wasn't.
It was noticeable a couple of things that made the conditions prime for a Sunday charge from the back of the field, and why the conditions were as following. The players, many of whom just wanted to get on their private jets and head up to Pennsylvania for the PGA Championship, were going noticeably low. And what that told me is why, with a player like Alex Fitzpatrick at the top of the leaderboard, getting his first taste of sleeping on a lead on a Saturday night, perhaps he would be vulnerable to front nine jitters. And that proved to be correct. So I fired a few bullets on some players down the leaderboard, including one Ricky Fowler. Huge numbers. I'll be honest with you. I'll be transparent with the audience.
Will you?
I put $5 on it. Yeah, $5.
Okay.
Or as my father would say when he was pissed off, $5.
$5.
He left the V and the E out.
Mm-hmm.
and it was paying $950.
Oh, really?
And then I start getting a cash out offer. And I'm going, oh, I got $200 guaranteed on the $5. We finna be rich. Sizzler, going Sizzler. But what I noticed was there was a very lucrative par 5 awaiting the players in a jumbled up leaderboard. And so I did decide to cash out after Ricky left his approach on 18 just in the rough, providing a very difficult chip for an up and down, and why I didn't think his score would be the top score anyway, even though he would post the low number. And in that case, the cash out felt good. We can't do results oriented.
Okay.
We can't do results oriented.
Okay.
But
Stick to the process.
Stick to the process. But I'm like, I just don't think he's going to win. So now I'm going from cheering for Ricky Fowler to pulling against him because I don't want to go. I cashed out when I could have won the $900 on my $5. And then, of course, it was Christoph Reitan. Doug, that was the Norwegian. You were talking about golf in Norway on Friday?
I wasn't really that much. For Fowler, that's his best finish in a while, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Second?
He's been playing well. He's been playing really well. Reitan was lurking at the Masters. And also finished in second, if I'm not mistaken, with a fellow countryman at the Zurich. So he's been playing well. As you know, Doug, he was the Norwegian Sportsman of the Year in 2025. So they knew over there that he was. That was said by whoever was on the call yesterday.
Over Erling Haaland?
Or maybe it was the comebacks or the player who made his most pronounced.
I don't know.
No, I mean, trust me, it's not a fun fact that was at the top of mind.
I just like one of the best soccer players in the world.
What the hell did he do last year that made him some award? Okay. He accepted. So they knew that he was playing good golf. I saw him on the leaderboard at Augusta, and I go, who the hell is this? And then it turns out in some auction, I actually owned him, which speaks to the problems with the Tam Avenue Capital Partners, Doug. We have our hands everywhere. Okay. And then on Tuesdays, it's usually a cash call.
Talk about secret holes.
Yeah.
3 straight top 10s for Ricky. Truist, Miami, and RBC.
But he hadn't won or finished second in a couple of years, right?
I feel like you won a year or two ago.
Will there be a poly market for the Dotem? Are there odds out? Any spread on the Dotem? Favorites
I'm bringing the same foursome I brought last year, Papers. Is it going to be the same foursome you had in our eightsome?
No.
Oh.
No, it's
Is your dad playing?
Yeah, my dad's playing. He bought 2 foursomes.
I know, but who else is going to be with you and your dad?
My dad and I will not be together on this. He's
friction.
sending out he's over there managing. He's got his pen and paper out. He's sending me, my cousin, our guy Jake, and Coach Howe's out there.
So he's the Dotem captain.
Yeah, and then he's playing with my aunt and uncle and one other person.
So he's lined you boys up to feast.
That's the plan, yeah. That's the plan.
Okay.
Or is he mad at you because you lost your wallet?
No, he's certainly not mad at me about that.
All right.
I got to be honest, we've got no chance.
You're not high on your squadron?
I am a bad golfer right now. Bad. One of my partners is approaching 80. Another one of my partners is 8.
All right, well.
So
wide delta.
Unless my brother-in-law goes out there and goes Scotty Schefflering, we've got problems.
And who is the defending champ? Do we know?
I just assume Cletus is pairing.
It was a 2-day event last year.
We got the best eraser on the pencil.
Right. Is the foursome alone or eightsome on a hole? The latter is more fun. Doug, is it the foursome alone of eightsome on a hole? The latter is more fun.
I don't know. Don't ask questions like that.
That's from Illini Lance.
I don't know. I don't think it's been revealed if it's foursomes or eightsomes.
The Striking Viking. Good on you, Jackson, for knowing footy. That's from Manchester City Greg.
Yeah, Erling Haaland.
The Striking Viking.
He's the number 9 for Manchester City.
Colton Nost is the absolute worst, insufferable douche. That's from Father Brown Eye.
Doug?
Who is the insufferable douche?
Clip that off.
It pays off.
I guess he's talking about CBS broadcaster Colt Nost.
I like Colt Nost.
Well, I mean, you can fight the guy if you want.
Colt Nost has another one of those names that sounds like one name, like Eric Anye.
Yeah, Colt Nost.
Hey, Tim, do you think you're going to quit this hobby of morning journalism and become a professional soothsayer? That's from Bobby Big Wheels. No, I am awful. I am awful playing golf. I am awful handicapping golf. I am awful. I am an awful person.
Well, we knew that, but the golf is more of an
golf
update.
thing. Yeah, the thing, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. We are going to get shipped. And the problem is, normally in a scramble, I couldn't care any less. And in this case, one of my playing partners will be very, very critical when we don't birdie.
Your son?
Yes.
Okay.
So the relaxation and why the pageantry of the Dotem. Next thing you know, apparently it's Sunday, the back nine. Second nine at Augusta.
And he'll be really hopping mad if you're not winning the thing.
Yes, that's correct. Especially if Jackson's group birdies. That's when it becomes a real problem.
Oh, we're planning on doing plenty of that.
Wow, Papers feels confident. Are you sending a message to Cletus for the Dotem?
He's a tough man to beat, but we'll do our best.
Has McGreevy been invited yet? So he knows about it. Okay. And he pitches.
Oh, the Dotem.
The Dotem. I mean, he pitches Thursday.
I have not invited him to the Dotem.
Thursday afternoonish. They'll get a little bit late. Not terrible. Thursday night. He did get up early on little to no sleep to go see the White House, and this is sort of bigger, so maybe Friday he'll be there.
He may not have the game to hang with these guys.
Well, I would think he wouldn't. I don't think he would play, right? Maybe just an appearance.
Oh.
I don't know. Okay. We will. We'll put that puck on net.
What if you slide him in? You kick out your son. I'm sorry. We've got to go for it here. You'll understand. When you're older, you'll understand.
I have to be honest, and I say this with sincerity. Just it's an observation. Do with it what you want. I feel confident that my 8-year-old would beat my father at this point.
Really?
Yeah. So my dad
Sounds
might
like
be on the
he's
outside.
out.
My dad would be on the outside looking in.
It's Jimmy. It's fine. He's a big league ball player. That's fine.
I got the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day coming up. The morning after at InsideSTL.com is how you can send those in. This is the Morning After, presented by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN.
This is Jackson with the SportsCenter update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Cardinals off today. Back in action tomorrow in Sacramento as they take on the Athletics. Andre Palante will be towing the slab for the Redbirds for an 8:40 p.m. first pitch. That was another SportsCenter update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
Here in the fan cave, ripping birds on the bat. Rest of the league, man, they can't handle that. I reckon Crew's gonna make the ball go splat. Your team, dude, is gonna need another pitcher stat. 11-11, now it's 12-12. Raleigh score was last year, put them on the shelf. This year it's Matty Freeze, Craig, and Beltran. We've got the best ever, talking about Stan the Man. I go from the monster to the home run slide. Not wearing a
What instrument is this that the gentleman's playing? Can you
Ring is all
tell?
I want to see now. I see you at Bushman, curtain call, take a bow.
Mandolin?
And the
Mandolin
background.
Rain. Bruce Hornsby in the range.
Somebody's got a kazoo in the background,
All
maybe.
you're gonna see now is a sea full of red.
So good, man. Metro Boomin do this?
Yeah. 808 Mafia.
I'm rolling balls. Are you? CMA 101 ESPN, you know what it's time for here in the Mark Hanna Evergreen Wealth Strategies 9 o'clock hour.
Email of the day.
The Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Doug, you want to tell people about Design Air before we go to it? I think you should, probably.
Well, sure. It's a company that you need to know about if you have any kind of problem with your air conditioner. Probably not dealing with the furnace anymore, but that air conditioner is going to have to come on here someday soon. And if it works, great, perfect. If it doesn't, you give Design Air a jingle, and Seth Goldcamp will get somebody out there toot sweet to make sure it's running and your home will be comfortable. At Design Air, they believe in honest work. You're not going to be sold something that you don't need. So whether you're dealing with the heat or the cold in the wintertime, they've got your back with dependable service, no pressure solutions. They've also got that maintenance plans. Good idea to check that out. They'll come out before the seasons and tune up the furnace, the air conditioner, and make sure you don't have any problems at all. Visit DesignAirService.com. Schedule your service today. Design Air is comfort you can count on since 1904 and home of the handsome repairman. A lot of people talking about Scott, who sometimes goes by simply War Scoots. Design Air brings the heat.
That does, and it's a sponsor of the email of the day. Here we go. Doug, this was sent to my personal account. Is it eligible?
Oh, well, it probably shouldn't be, but we'll let it go.
This is sent to my Hubbard personal account. So if you go to the TMA STL app, you can email the hosts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. That's always a good start.
Jackson with a knowing moan.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Hey, bud, buddy, chief.
Hey, buddy. I'm doing a little humble brag to you. My wife and I are flying to Jamaica. And I just want to tell you how beautiful your voice sounds at 30,000.
Okay.
Chairman Kurtz applauding. Keep it up because I believe your smooth voice is keeping this flight smooth. Also, ask Doug if he knows of any good places to eat in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Thanks, Doug. That's Cotty 65.
Oh, yeah, that's where we were, right?
Yeah, I
Montego
don't want to make any.
That's where we flew into, but then we had to drive.
Well, it was Sandals Montego Bay, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ocho Rios.
Rios.
Kurt wasn't even there.
We flew into Montego Bay.
Well, then I guess I don't know any place to eat. How about the airport?
They had
Montego Bay?
They had an
Eat the airport.
They had an
They're a
anti-ants.
standalone to show that their downtown was moving?
It was kind of like a cart. But the only options they had was pretzels and mustard. There was no accoutrement.
I think I got some bird seed at that airport, didn't I?
You dropped some birds.
Yeah.
Guys, isn't the chalky play for the Dotem the bi-curious, girdle-rocking male playing the senior tees, fueled by $5 wine? Most interesting man in the world for sure. Spent time in the Northeast as a volunteer fireman and making Johnny cakes in a diner before hitting Vito's hole. And then started a more humble life in St. Louis, running a 1950s-style bed and breakfast / petting zoo devoid of all technology, with the exception of Facebook. Doug, that's Carlos Spicy
Okay.
in the text inbox.
Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Let's see. Doug's chest heaved softly under his blue-striped sleeping gown. The ball on the end of his matching nightcap dangled off the side of the bed. The glowing red lights told me it was 1:14 a.m. Time to get to work. Doug had a PT 309 shower buddy with polyethylene suction cups. Yeah, last year's model. My son wants a G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip, so I need this sale. I removed the PT 309, put some water under the cups, and made my exit. As I left the front door, I heard a thunderous clap like a bomb went off. I smiled. I'll be back tomorrow to make the sale. Life as a traveling shower caddy salesman ain't easy. Doug, that's we too low.
Okay. We too low.
Referencing Doug Shower Caddy falling thunderously at 1 in the morning.
105.
105, sorry. I don't know the hours.
Like a bomb went off in the house.
I wanted to send in my pant size since we were comparing last week. 3840, 6'7", 260 pounds. Can't wait to hear the TMA trouser power rankings that Doug will announce later this month. That's from Dirk 3K.
Dirk 3K.
Hey guys, I wanted to know if I could get a weekly hit with you all. Here are my qualifications. I live in Birmingham, also known as the armpit of Alabama. I almost got into the prestigious University of Auburn. They only accept 50% of the population of a state that's bottom 5 in the country in education. I was a part of the quote-unquote organization. No further elaboration needed. I can call in, but Birmingham cell service isn't great. So if I cut out, just call out to me for several minutes, and I will get back to you. Anyway, I was thinking our first hit, we could talk about how the guy who leads the league in outfield assists is actually bad at throwing the ball in. I look forward to talking to you guys. That's from Steve, also known as the Bridgeton Landfill Fume Huffer.
Steve,
Strong.
or Bridgeton Landfill Fume Huffer.
It is interesting critiquing Jordan Walker, who has been a much improved outfielder. Jackson and I were both saying the same thing, wondering why he didn't get a running start on.
Right. Easy to, we're Monday
But
morning.
overall, yes, his
quarterbacking here.
outfield play has been pretty
In
good.
the moment, I absolutely thought the same thing. And when I saw it, I thought he's got no chance.
Right.
And yet the throw still was,
It was a great
rocket,
throw, yeah.
albeit. The Cardinals blow a save, and then Ahmad Hardy gets shot. The Michelob Ultra YouTube chat still won't show me Doug and Martin's sexy faces. This feels like the turning point in the season. I feel 7-game skid brewing. I can't wait to drive into a highway embankment on the way home today. It's from Dirty Dan, the garbage man, who Jackson believes is performative. I believed is real, and now I'm starting to lean as performative.
Yeah. Dirty Dan, a garbage man.
We can't have anything good. The roller coaster saga of using telephone technology for Steve. Battlehawk crowds. Ole Miss admission rates. Doug's potentially criminal shower caddy. Hardy gets shot. Michael Jordan may have stolen Jackson's wallet. We can only sometimes see Doug on camera. But I spent my entire weekend trying to navigate the whole Glacier Cats Riverblades rivalry, which is basically the reincarnation of the Beachcombers and Sandloafers. That's from Shooter McGavin, the Vice President of Surprise Holes.
Shooter McGavin, VP, Surprise Holes.
And finally, I played 9 with my wife at Forest Park, then Katie's for brunch, Lumiere Art Fair, and then Bartolino's. I had a Bloody Mary and 14 beers over a 10-hour period. If you get an appraisal from me today, it's going to suck. That's from Chairman Steve and Damon. And that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. The question that you now have a responsibility to ask is what you got. We will announce what you got coming up at 10:55. BK and Ferrario coming up at 11 o'clock here on 101 ESPN. Just keep your YouTube open, and you can watch after the morning after on the TMA STL YouTube channel. Doug, we've got a story that you're going to want to hear coming up on the other side of the break. It is from ESPN.com, and I think you are going to be intrigued by it. That is next here on TMA 101 ESPN. Doug, over on your right is James Carlton. Martin's still here, onboarding. And he's going to Jackson's mic.
I guess Papers and I are sharing a mic.
Martin, I think
what should I punch? What should I punch here?
Don't punch anything.
Okay. Let's listen to ESPN Houston over here.
See if we can get Steve on there.
Steve from
Steve in
Birmingham.
Look, he's still on hold.
James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency is in studio, as he is wont to do, at 10 o'clock on Mondays. James, I think you're going to be happy you're going to hear this information.
Okay.
And you're going to be happy that you're here when Doug hears this information on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. For the first time ever, Joe Lunardi has released his bracketology for a 76-team NCAA tournament field.
Not a moment too soon.
Thank you.
He's already figured out who's going to play who and where before the first practice. Or we even know everyone is going to be on the teams.
It's a 76-team field.
Oh, gosh. And we got to hear all 76 teams where they're going.
You want to guess?
I don't want to guess.
How about this?
Is Mizzou in it?
How about this? Well, I'll answer your question. There's a little more scrolling this year.
No.
With 76 teams in there. I would imagine that the Fighting Tigers are. But before we get to that, how long is the drive to Louisville? Is that 5 hours?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Okay.
We will be in our cars. You guys will be. I fly private. Look at the contract. Because Illinois is taking on Southeast Missouri in Louisville, and the winner gets Kentucky or the Billikens.
We don't know any of that.
30 years after the Billikens took on Kentucky. Look what the committee has done.
They haven't
got
done
the
anything.
Billikens taking on Kentucky. But is it right that the Billikens play Kentucky in Kentucky when they were an 8 seed?
Do I have to talk like that?
Like what?
We don't know who's going where. We have no idea. So I don't know if it's white that Kentucky will play the Billikens. I don't know, and neither does he.
How dare you?
Louisville's only 4 hours.
Doug, it's a little hypocritical that you enjoy a good trade proposal from random callers.
I do.
But you don't like Joe Lunardi's bracketology? Come
Well,
on.
he's making it up.
But what if the Billikens can avenge that defeat 30 years ago and then take on Blad Underwood and ILL?
He does this just to put rivals against each other so people talk about it. You can see that, right?
You're out of line right now.
We didn't get any of the matchups he said we were going to get.
We got every one of them.
This last year.
Every single one of them.
We didn't.
His last bracketology is pretty close.
How about that?
Well, yeah, now that they've played all the conference tournaments and everything, sure, it's a little easier. You can't do it in May before they've had the first practice.
Book in my hotel now. Roll bills at Dino Bravo.
Don't do it.
Now for Missouri. And guess
Jackson's
what?
rubbing his hands over there. He's so excited to hear. It's just made up.
Oh, I know where they're going to be.
This is so coincidental, and you have to wonder if the committee knew this. The Cardinals are playing in Sacramento tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, and that's where Missouri will play in March when they take on Clayton.
Oh, Gabe's excited.
Clayton.
Gabe loves that, 3-stop flight to get out there.
And once again, if they are to get past their first round opponent, Arizona would be working just like they were in 2023 when they were beaten by Princeton.
Okay.
Same city, too, wasn't it?
Jackson?
I'm pretty sure that was in Sacramento as well.
Yeah, it was.
Look at Lunardi just playing the hits.
God, he knows what he's doing. He knows what the committee wants.
Just think, instead of worrying about who's going to play where 8 months before it happens, we ought to try to get some speech therapy so we can say these names correctly.
You're out of line again.
Okay.
This is interesting. Creighton, Greg McDermott, longtime coach there, he's done. They hired Alan Huss, who is the coach at High Point, who coached under Dana Altman. So all these
Boy,
things
imagine the odds of that happening. Give me a break.
And you know who he's teammates with at Creighton? This guy's a Blue Jay alum, Kyle Korver.
Okay.
He shoots a 3.
Yes.
Your thoughts, Doug?
I don't have any thoughts on that. Couldn't you do that with every game played? That this guy used to be here and now he's over there, and
the committee's done it again.
Knew somebody, and then you say the committee's done it again. It's exhausting.
You have to wonder if this alters Josh Schertz's preparation.
It won't.
Knowing that he'll have to deal with Kentucky.
We don't know that that's going to happen.
Pope.
I wonder if he flew back to St. Louis to watch Kentucky take on Santa Clara.
Oh, my goodness.
In the first round of the tournament, and then be ready for them 12 months later in Louisville. And if you're Chris May, do you start the campaign right now to say it's not right that the Billikens have to play Kentucky in the state of Kentucky when they're an 8 seed?
You have no comment on it at all because this is one guy at his computer making it up. Josh Schertz is not going to cut short his vacation because somebody on bracketology thinks he's going to play Kentucky in round 2. I'm starting to get the hives.
Doug, how are you going to look at the boys in Maryland in the eyes and say, you ain't dancing this year? That's from the Hunchback of Von Castle. Yeah, the Terps.
You don't
celebrating
have to have...
the 25th anniversary of Juan Dixon.
Okay, you don't have to have the conversation because they still have a shot, just like everyone else.
Well, Jimmy Cruz, don't let me down, Jimmy. I've got you beating Louisville.
Okay, but you can't have him beating them yet. Is this bracketology going to change week to week?
Yes.
Based on where people go on vacation?
Well, not necessarily vacation, but it will change.
Why?
Well, new information
Like
gets presented
what?
across his desk.
So-and-so sprained an ankle, so
yeah.
We're going to ship them out to...
Probably gets word from scrimmages and practices.
I don't know that he does.
How guys are looking in the offseason, getting some work in. Like Missouri, a 7 seed, honestly, I would hope better.
I would too.
I think that I think it's high time they get a 4 seed.
Don't worry about this.
I'm monitoring it. I'm not necessarily.
You're going to monitor his bracketology.
Doug, do you want to know who the 4 number 1s are?
Couldn't care less.
You could probably guess it.
Guess them.
Duke.
Yes.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Arizona.
No.
No.
Oh, well, pardon the hell out
I
of me.
already told you one of them.
Pardon that.
I already told you one.
Was it Kentucky? I wasn't
about
listening
Chris
that
May.
closely because this is all nonsense.
Josh Schertz are probably furious that they got to go on the road as a 9 and play a home game. Like I think Miami had a grievance against Missouri this year.
Okay.
And then they used it as motivation to win right here in the gateway to the West, brother.
Oh, my goodness.
Home of the best fans in baseball and a UFL for that matter.
All right.
Oh, this is a major moment. Joe Lenardi has this team listed as a 1 seed.
And it's a major moment. Yeah. Can I have the first name, the first initial?
I.
Ypsilanti, Illinois.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Got Illinois as a 1 seed.
Okay.
Orson Woods Wacko says tickets for SLU versus Kentucky next March are already on StubHub.
They're
Jump on
not.
them now, Doug.
They're not.
Yeah, prospective tickets. Full refund if it doesn't come through.
You would hope.
Didn't somebody call in and you can just list them for whatever you want, and then you list another pair for an exorbitant amount but less?
That's right. We were coached up on that.
Yeah, and they it's a meta game to get somebody to pay $25,000 for a Mizzou.
Yeah, was that World Cup tickets that we were discussing?
Oh yeah,
They're up to $32,000 for the best seats in the house.
Sweet mother of mercy.
Good value.
$32,000.
James Carlton is in studio with us here on TMA. It is the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling 10 o'clock hour. James, what is the good word? Fine, sir.
I'm curious on your guys' thoughts. I got in a Waymo a couple weeks ago, and I loved it. But evidently that's like a polarizing thing. People are like, wow, that's crazy. I would never get into that. And I'm thinking, I get into strangers' cars and Ubers that have free will and emotions, and I don't bat an eye. This is a robot that has one job to do, and I thought it was awesome.
Where were you going?
Doug, you would not do this. Jackson, I think, would do this.
Have done it.
What did you think?
It's cool. It's certainly it's shocking how much gizmos are up in that front seat.
Yeah.
Like it looks.
Don't say gizmos.
It kind of
looks the technical term.
Like it kind of looks like a very advanced high school kids project up there. Like because there's all sorts of levers and pulleys. Like it's not just
There's a pulley system.
It's not just like
That's what your
just
life
a
has.
car driving itself. Like it looks like something's up there.
All right.
And while I thought the novelty of it was cool, I would have concern, not necessarily even about me being in the car. I would take it again. It's what happens when a software update hits and something doesn't register right with the computer, and everything's working except when they go through a crosswalk, they don't notice a passenger and smoke somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
is it going to be your fault?
Right.
In the back seat?
Right. Like, yeah, who's to blame? Like that's where it gets a little touchy. Not to mention, like, I would rather, more jobs go to people who want to drive Uber around as opposed to
I can appreciate that, but I'm just selfish, and I want to be able to go to Columbia in the fall and sleep in my own bed and not worry about having to have a drink and not drive.
I do like that.
I just have my own Waymo.
Would you take one on the highway going 70 miles an hour?
Absolutely.
I think I'd be afraid of that.
Oh, I was very comfortable.
That's probably where it's safer.
I don't know.
Because we basically have that technology now in cars where, like, you'll notice, like, new cars, if you drive one, like, if you swerve out of the lane, it'll put you right back in it. Or if you get within 2 car lengths of a car in front of you, you'll slow down.
But if there's a mistake out here on Olive, you're going to live through it. If there's a mistake on I-70,
it's higher
you're not.
risk. But I think that the likelihood of a crash is less. But, yes, if you are in a crash, it's much worse.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of human error out there as well, Doug.
Oh, there is.
We hop in strangers' cars all the time.
I don't doubt that it's the future. I would just like to wait another year or two before
no, I get that.
some of the problems get ironed out.
It was cool, though, like, being in the car. It was, like, 2 of my buddies, and, like, no one else is in the car with it. It's like a private little train.
Yeah, there's, I guess in Chicago, a lot of them get vandalized, and there's a lot of, anti-Waymo things going on. This one I was in was in Austin, and there was a guy backing up, not in a parking spot, like literally at a red light, backing up, about to hit this Waymo, and the Waymo's laying on its horn. Nobody was behind us, thankfully, and the Waymo keeps backing up. And this guy, I think he was trying to hit this thing.
Wow.
And I'm thinking, this thing's got so many cameras on it. Like, what are you doing here?
That about?
It was really odd. Obviously, I wasn't scared. We were barely moving. But this guy was nuts. He just clearly kept trying to back up into this Waymo.
It's like one thing to throw, like, your fountain soda at it. It's another thing to damage your vehicle in the process of making a statement.
Like, what would it cost to drive from here to Columbia in a Waymo?
Well, I think at some point people are going to own these. Like, this will be your private chauffeur.
Oh.
And I'm not one that loves to drive. And I don't drive that much as it is, thankfully. And so if I can just have a Waymo that can get me where I need to be, think about the productivity. Now, all that drive time, somebody in L.A. that's sitting in traffic 2 hours each way, they're knocking out all their emails before they even get into work.
Okay, so what's a Waymo car going to cost you?
I have zero idea, Doug.
No.
This is probably a little ways away.
Okay. But
it seems like they're moving. I know they launched in Arizona, Atlanta, and Austin. Now somebody said they're here.
I took one in Scottsdale. I took one in Scottsdale.
I'm not sure if I've seen one in St. Louis, but they're coming. And obviously a lot of these AI technologies are threatening jobs. I'm not throwing any kind of light on that, but this is a technology that, wow, it sounds pretty interesting to me.
You just got an invite that might mitigate the issues here. Warson Woods Wacko says, James, come sleep in my hotel room over MIZ football weekends.
See, this was my whole angle, actually. I just wanted a free place to stay.
I have it all booked. You're the one who tipped me off about the Ritz-Carlton.
Like, you don't bet the play you gave on Friday?
Terrible. Christopher Rayton.
I tell Tim about this play for football season before the schedule's released, and I didn't execute on my own, so I am homeless.
Is it already sold out?
Oh, if it's not, you're paying like $600 for a Holiday Inn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
the Ritz-Carlton of Columbia.
That's the jury. But yeah, so I don't have that. And then Tim was talking about, I don't know if it was, you're on so many shows these days. I don't know if it was QFTA or ATMA, but you were talking about somebody texted in, the greatest moment as a dad is when your son can finally beat you in golf.
Yes.
I just don't know if I'll ever experience that with my own dad, because he is so much better than me. I played with him last week.
Right?
And I'm terrible as it is, but he plays all the time. I just don't. He's never going to experience, I don't think, his son beating him in golf. I've come to that conclusion.
Is that right?
Unless I really get some work in.
Are you at peace with it?
It aggravates me. It really does.
Can you put something in his food?
How about that?
He does have a soft stomach, so that's probably the play there.
That.
So you obviously beating your dad, I have to imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's not even a sweat.
That's correct. Okay. Boy, my poor dad, back-to-back hours getting dunked on for his golf game.
Doug, how about you? Did you ever get to play with your dad?
Oh, yeah, many times.
Did you ever take him down?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, see,
when he was getting older and I was getting into it in my 20s and 30s.
I'm probably the odd man. I'm sure Jackson. I don't know. Your dad seems like he's pretty active still.
Oh, very. I played with him yesterday.
Who won?
I probably got him by a stroke or two.
Same.
But
you guys played the tips at St. Louis, right?
Yeah, I was tipping out Ruth Park. A crushing, probably 2,900 yards.
Never going to beat
I
his
can
dad.
already sense what's coming because it's probably going to happen. Number one, I am bad, James. I want this. We're in a red alert situation.
Your golf game?
Awful.
Oh, wow.
It's, back-to-back Saturdays where I shot 90.
Okay.
92 for one Saturday, and I'm like not mailing it in. I'm obviously gambling.
You're just working on some stuff.
It's a mess. We're in crisis mode. If Butch Harmon's listening, and I think he listens, but I don't know if he.
Of course he does.
And I'll be at Family Golf today. I might. I'll be in the lab, brother. It's off the rails. The guys
so
I gamble with
frustrating.
are like, "Oh my God, you're sandbagging." I'm like, I get it. And then by the end of the round, they're just like, "Oh God, this poor guy, he's gone."
But you lost money.
My son was out there with me on Saturday playing Fox Run. My God, is that a great golf course? I can't say enough good things about it. And we had a little time in between the nines on one of their many putting greens. And I said, all right, 4 holes, stroke play, me versus you, and I am not going to give you a damn everything in bottom of the cup, no giving. This is Doug Vaughn golf. Doug does not like giving. Yes.
Okay.
Put the ball in the cup. Stop arguing.
And after he got like a 4 on the first hole from like 30 feet, and I got a 2. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to run up the score. I'm Dr. Tom Osborne, this guy. And then he rolls in the next 2 on 1 putt.
Wow.
And then he 2-putted the next one, and it was a crap-talking festival from this young punk.
How about that?
And we got a problem is what we've got.
Put something in his food.
I guess I got to do that. James has to do it with his
Doug
father.
fights
I got to
dirty.
do it with mine. The attitude is cocky for no real reason. And I sit there and I go, where did he get that from?
Right.
You know?
I don't know. It certainly doesn't run in the family.
Thank you. Thank you for saying it. Thank you for saying it. There was talking about Jackson playing at Grove and the happiness, and then also the satisfaction you get from when your child beats you in golf. And then if you remember in that email, because it was from QFTA, he then called me out for being a vanity index. And I would assure you that if you saw me right now, you actually would say I'm a vanity index because I'm a 6, and you'd go, this guy's got to be a 20.
This is your time to play 10.
Oh, my God. It's problems, James. It's big problems. That's James Carlton. He's my insurance agent. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. Always wonderful to see you, James. Thanks for coming in, brother.
See you guys.
That's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. He's my insurance agent. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. If you are tired of always waking up exhausted, dad bod starting to weigh on you, finding it harder to get excited about basically anything, if your energy, focus, and drive aren't what they used to be, it might not be that you're just getting older. Good chance your hormones and metabolism are out of balance. So this new year, let's get back to the old you. You remember that guy? Sharp at work, full of energy, fun, the one people enjoyed being around. That's where mentality comes in. They're not a macho, low-T bro clinic. They're human-centered. Their mission is to figure out what's really going on in your body and your brain. Mentality starts by listening. They'll run real labs and explain your results in plain English, then build a personalized science-backed plan using hormone therapy and FDA-approved peptide treatments to help get your brain and body back on track. So stop telling yourself and everyone around you that you're fine. Right now, all new patient labs will be covered in your treatment plan. That's a savings of $250 right out of the gate. Reclaim the old you, the younger you, with mentality. Schedule your appointment now at lowtusa.com. That's lowtusa.com, LOWTUSA.com. The program's called TMA. It's presented by Brown & Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel. You go to VIP, they take care of everything. They're a one-stop shop. That's Tommy Sabulka and Brian Grigg at VIPAutoaccessories.com. In some instances, people will bring their vehicles to 4 or 5 different places when everything could have been done in-house at one place. VIP Auto Accessories with 60-plus employees, allowing for quicker turnaround times. They really do have a great reputation. That's why they've been in business since 1979. They're in the business of making money. They don't make money when your truck is on their lot. VIP Auto Accessories has great installers who care and take pride in their work. They maintain old-school business philosophies. They'll do it right. They'll tell you the truth. 4 departments under one roof. Commercial upfits, graphic solutions, hail repair, and touch-up and aftermarket. It's all with VIP Auto Accessories. For all your commercial vehicle upfit needs, ask for Tommy Sabulka. And for all your aftermarket vehicle accessories needs, ask for Brian Grigg. Tell them that you heard about them on The Morning After. It's VIPAutoaccessories.com. Doug, what do we got here?
I have no idea.
This is the one and only, right?
Yeah. May 11th is Sabrina Carpenter's 27th birthday today.
Oh,
Breeny is 27, Doug. I didn't know if we had a theme, but this is a theme, Breeny's birthday.
Okay.
It comes at 10-2, so, you kind of had to wait for the payoff here.
And Breeny is what they're calling it?
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter.
Well, I know the name is Sabrina Carpenter. I just wonder, the nickname is officially Breeny?
Why not?
Savvy.
That's what she calls herself. She was on. Was that Seth Meyers?
I don't know where she
These late night shows are kind of going by the wayside with their relevance.
Seems like they're all just for YouTube.
Yeah.
Like they just it's like they shoot 5 minutes at a time for clips.
Well, you don't really have anybody who's,
Well, if they did,
cutting.
but they wouldn't put them in late night at this point, probably.
Right, and I don't think the comedian would want it. I mean,
No.
I guess if there's a ridiculous amount of money in it,
Right.
but it was Seth Meyers interviewing her, and I said, "What's your nickname?" And she goes, "Breeny." Doug doesn't like that.
No, it's fine. I don't care what her nickname is.
But was it 2015 or 2014 when Letterman retired?
15, I want to say.
Years.
It was in that range.
Yeah.
And it was a kind of a significant moment. You got to be of a certain age. I'm borderline to remember it, but I remember Johnny Carson's last show. It's probably, I don't know, whatever, 15 or something like that. So it's not like I was watching late night television. And that was like a landmark moment. Yeah. And now if you go, oh yeah, Fallon isn't on the air anymore, I'd go, oh, is that right?
Right.
Whatever. I don't pay attention. I know Colbert is done, or is already done, or is about to be done. I know that. Jimmy Kimmel, I never know what the hell's going on. And Seth Meyers, I guess, still does it.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Am I missing
Corden's
somebody?
done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Conan's been done for a while now. Letterman's show ended, Late Show with David Letterman ended in 2015. So yeah, it's pretty much Fallon and Kimmel.
I think those shows used
Colbert.
to be big money makers, and now they're money losers.
Yeah, it's just that model is no longer like the linear television late night show is not what people
And they also became largely
longing for.
political shows, so you lose half the audience. If you try to watch the first 10, 15 minutes and you're not a left-winger, it's impossible. You can't get through it.
But I would say even if it was like straight down the middle, it's just not the way people are viewing television right now.
No, but it would help if you didn't alienate half the country right away.
I guess. It's a model that I just don't think is like if they moved all of that stuff to YouTube or a podcast, possibly, but to be like, well, make sure you're watching at 11 p.m. on, CBS, it's probably not going to do well.
Doug, take a listen to this. I don't know if you've ever heard anything as insightful / cliche as this. The only constant is change.
Boy, that is nice. Mm-hmm. That's what you can count on, change. I think the model of those shows are okay if done right, because most people are about ready to go to bed. Here's a funny, supposed to be funny monologue at the start. Okay, now I can go to sleep. I saw that. Here's the top guest. Okay, saw it. Now I can go to bed. It's not like something you have to watch for a half hour or an hour to get the whole gist of the show. I think that's why that model did work for so many years, because you can watch it in chunks and say, that's enough. Time to go to bed.
Right, but like if you're, I'm just spitballing from my generation of people.
He just called them his people. Did you hear that? I heard it.
Well, I'm just trying to feel like if you're having guests on who are around my age, you're likely trying to broadcast to people in that same age range as the guest. And if the lion's share of them don't even have linear television, then what are we doing, essentially?
Doug, what are we doing?
You don't have linear television, so you're not watching the networks.
Right. If people my age aren't watching network television at all, and you're trying to use that, like that's your demographic you're broadcasting to, be based on the guests you're bringing on, it's like,
but based on that, what were you doing with any network programming?
Besides live sports and some news, yeah, I would say.
Well, they're still going to put programming up there to try to stay in the business. That's
for
what
sure,
they do.
but all that programming that they do also gets thrown on their streaming services. And they would obviously put the late night shows on the streaming service, but that becomes dated within a day.
Well, but they're still going to have a show on there. They're going to do some kind of program.
They're not going to just have the bars.
I think that's the kind of programming that you would want for that hour, because it's not a story that plays out over a half hour or an hour. You can just watch in small chunks and go to bed.
Ideally, they probably want to bring in new blood for that, because I assume your Fallons and Kimmels and Seth Meyers take up a lot of the chunk of salary. I assume they get paid a handsome amount of money. Yeah. And I would be surprised if they're really cashing in based on that.
If the networks are cashing in, no, they're not. They're losing a lot of money on these shows.
Right. I think the model itself is fine, but the venue it plays on, I think, would be, I guess, my bigger issue, to amend what I had said earlier.
I guess, although the venue is the same for all network shows.
Right. I like Letterman's Netflix show, though.
What makes it different than what was on CBS?
It's an hour-long interview, approximately.
Produced. Yeah. Sometimes they do activities.
It's good. I think... I wonder about this. It's the natural, we talk about things changing, and it doesn't mean that things aren't good. It's just audiences change and expectations change. I think you can apply it to sports with baseball and the pace of baseball and its appeal to young people who are used to the ability to get dopamine hits instantaneously. But specific to Letterman's show, I like it. You like it. I doubt a lot of people in their 20s really like it.
Yeah,
because it's Letterman in his, I would assume now, mid-70s doing these interviews. And I mean, you know, he was, you were, what, 16 or something when he shut it down?
Yeah, 15.
I mean, so you're not that you're 30, but you're approaching 30. There's plenty of people in their teens and 20s who probably don't even know who the hell he is.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
It's like somebody bringing up I don't even, what are they name? Who preceded Carson? Jack
it might have been Jack Parr.
Parr, that's it.
Don't know. Think Dotem.
Don't know. So my point being, like, I like it, but at the same time, I loved long-form interview shows. Bob Costas had Later. That was a big deal. But now with podcasts, I think that's what played a role in Howard Stern. I don't want to call it demise, because the guy's probably sitting on $1 billion. He's just fine. But the thing that separated his show was he would get these high-profile entertainers. This is after he went to Sirius, certainly, and get these long-form interviews. And then podcasting emerges, and now you can get these interviews anytime you want. It becomes, let me pick which one I'm going to listen to, because I don't have time to listen to them all. So therefore, Letterman's show is almost like a podcast, and I don't really know what the differentiator is unless you're just a fan of Letterman. See what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Like, as opposed to...
Like, he got Jay-Z on, and he got Stern on, and he got Barack Obama on.
Yeah.
But those are people who don't regularly do podcast interviews. But for the most part, you know, I mean, like a DiCaprio, you know, I don't see him doing podcasts.
He doesn't ever do anything.
Right.
He did the New Heights thing, and that was like, blow your mind. I can't believe he's doing this.
So, but yeah, I think, at this point, if somebody of big-time note... Like, I was, God, I can't recall if I was reading an article. It might have been a link you sent me about, or it was it was a clip. It was, what's the dude from Pro Football Talk? We've had him on a few times.
Mike Florio.
Yeah. Was talking with a guy about where will Diana Rossini tell her story. That used to be the thing. Remember that, Doug, when somebody was a subject, or it could be political. I know 60 Minutes had Benjamin Netanyahu on last night. Where will they tell their story? And now it almost is, where won't they tell their story?
Yeah, right.
Because they're everywhere.
Right.
And then the social media clips. So you got to be careful in that, because if you clip a certain thing one way, it totally changes the context as opposed to a full interview that the whole country watches. And therefore, the context is not set by what is posted on take your pick of whatever platform. So therefore, I do like Letterman's show a lot, but I don't know if it appeals to the masses. I don't know.
Right, but I think that's like the design of Netflix.
Sure, he doesn't. I mean, obviously, it's a passion project for him, but I'm just talking about interview shows in general, I guess is what I'm saying.
Sure, yeah. And it's interesting, too, because Netflix has just purchased a lot of podcast video rights to put on their platform exclusively. Pardon my take. A bunch of the Ringer podcasts.
How's that doing? Do you know how that's doing?
I don't
see it, and I never am ever tempted to watch a podcast on Netflix. Never.
Right.
But I'll watch it on YouTube.
Right.
And I have no idea what that's about.
I'm pretty exclusive audio only when I go podcasting, because I like to do it like headphones in while I'm doing something else or driving. So I'm all exclusively audio. But from what I've garnered from the fans of said podcast, they're like, I don't necessarily love having to pay this monthly subscription to Netflix to watch my favorite podcast, but at the same time, they still offer it for free on audio. So it's like, I don't know. To me, I think you don't have much of a leg to stand on there, but what do I know? But yeah, they've obviously made that a big part of their plan moving forward.
Kind of a provocative text here. You can text in 314-399-9646. And Jackson, I guess you're probably the only one here qualified to address it. Can we just concede that young people are stupid and move forward?
I think so. Yeah.
It's from the 636.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm ready to concede that.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I'm going to disagree.
I've stopped listening to Pardon My Take. TMA at STL gets a lot of my minutes on my drive home from work. Doug, that's John Boy in Indiana.
Hell yeah.
And that's
John
Richard
Boy.
Scott Thomas, right?
I think so.
And Will Gear was the patriarch.
Oh, he was.
What's wrong with him? Wow,
I don't know.
I just was stating facts, and all of a sudden it seemed like I rattled your cage.
I forget what the drama was with Will Gear.
Rank your gears.
Richard, number one.
David Allen Greer with Men on Film with Damon Wayans.
Hal Greer, NBA player.
Well, now we're doing Greers. I thought we were doing gears.
Oh, isn't that close enough?
Yeah, sure. We might not have enough gears, to be
I'm
honest.
young and dumb enough to listen to your show. That's from Jed Jerko. What do you
God
think
bless.
he is now? He's got to be in his 40s. I mean,
Probably early 40s.
Plowhawk boxed his ass out during that question of the day. Much to his dismay.
Shocking that the 90-year-old on the dais has bad late-night takes. That's from Big Tuft, and now he's not happy.
Oh, well,
I thought
geez, I'm upset with that.
No, Doug, I thought brought up an interesting point. Like the model itself probably is fine. It's just I question network television as a whole if it's not live sports or like 60 Minutes, like
a lot
live
of it
news
now is
program.
game shows.
Mostly, yeah.
Reality shows and game shows.
And damn it if I don't catch a game show and watch for a good 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's still good television.
But they're also not paying a star $20 million a year to do those.
Right. Right. That's where I saw Ryan Gosling for the first time in years.
On a game show?
He's Wheel of Fortune.
Ryan Gosling is hosting Wheel of Fortune?
Ryan Gosling, I meant Ryan Seacrest.
Right.
I was like,
Confused me with that.
what in the hell
Big
happened
drop off
there?
for the star of Project Hail Mary. My apologies. Ryan Seacrest.
Seacrest does Wheel of Fortune.
Right. And there was a big...
But that's not a network show. That's a syndicated show.
Sure. There was a big hullabaloo
that gets
about
sold to stations all over the country.
Right.
Doug, I'm sweet on Keke Palmer. That's from Dale.
you really?
She's great.
Okay. I'm not sure who that is, but...
She's an actress. She was in the Jordan Peele's most recent movie, Nope, where she was fantastic. She also did a movie with St. Louis and SZA.
And why would her name be brought up in this?
I don't know, but she is dynamic.
She hosting with Ryan Gosling
She's
somewhere?
incredibly talented. Buy stock in Keke Palmer. Stock's already way up, but...
Ryan Gosling? Come on, movie boy!
Seacrest. Sorry, I was watching Drive recently. The great Albert Brooks. Who I always confuse for Robert Wool.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen him do anything lately. He's still
Because they won't bring back Arliss, those bastards.
He was a funny guy.
Very funny. Arliss.
Is Jackson still struggling with the cameras? It's from the Hunchback of On Castle.
Yeah. No doubt. It'll get remedied hopefully by today, so tomorrow. We're still broadcasting with the camera shot.
I didn't even realize we were on the wide angle.
Yeah, the wide. But
I think for a lot of women in the area, and probably about 40% of the guys, they want to see my blue eyes on a Monday in particular.
I get that. Want to do the solo shot? The Just Tim shot?
I would imagine at Hubbard Corporate in Minneapolis, they've been asking that question for a while.
It's really disheartening when there's 4 people on the show and the camera's on one guy exclusively.
I could see some of the people in this industry. There we go. There's the solo shot. This is for all the ladies. This is the right shot. Let's see. Ryan Gosling and Keke Palmer need to be on the next season of Masked Singer. Doug, that's from Alexandra Daddario, who filmed a movie here in St. Louis called The Layover with Kate Upton.
I really hope they aren't on the Masked Singer.
That's a horrible show.
That means something's gone terribly wrong.
Yeah. God, it's awful.
Hey, guys. Got laid off last week, so I'm jobless for the first time in 25 years. I'm looking forward to listening to your other iteration at 11 o'clock. That's from former fan page moderator Neil Allen Craig Paquette.
Well, the Strode program.
Silver lining.
After the morning after.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah, sorry to hear
Sucks.
that, former fan page moderator Neil Allen Craig Paquette.
Good dude. Good dude.
Let's see. Who watches The Masked Singer? Eric in the Central West End does not like The Masked Singer.
I don't mean to judge. Like, you'll watch a ball game or something on a network, and the promos come up for like the television shows are going to be running later. It's like I just am. It's who's watching this is what I ask.
People that don't want to pay for Netflix
right.
and HBO and all that.
I get it.
Tanner and that new Eric will have the camera fixed by 11:10. Just watch SMH movie, bitch. That's from Dale in Grubville, who's blaming
Bully
Jackson.
for them.
Do you believe they will?
No.
Wow.
Our engineering team, after this program, will come in here and try to work on things. So if that is the case, then that's just another credit to our engineering team, who's done an outstanding job ever since the power went out here on Thursday. They've remedied so many issues so that, kind of everything goes off without a hitch. Big credit to them. If they're able to get it fixed for their show, wonderful. I wouldn't say it's a reflection on me, but if you want to take it that way and use it against me, I'm here for it.
There's Jackson's invite, and you can do that at
You think I'm ducking smoke?
314-399-9646. There will be people now monitoring both after the morning after and the YouTube channel on 101 ESPN celebrating if it is fixed by 11:10. There will be a There might be a parade down Market, brother.
Listen, that's fine. Stay engaged. Stay listening.
McGreevy texting. He said, "Let me get on the show tomorrow," with a question mark. Like he wants to get on.
Say
this
papers
program.
will think about it.
I got an off day here in San Diego and to spend some time with the fam.
So
I don't know.
Yeah,
I said, "Hey, let me ask you a question. Are we starting to get to a point where we couldn't spend $500 on the Grove, and are we going Netflix, Wheels up, NetJets, Wheels up,
fractionals?
Doug, those are called fractionals.
What is?
Those are. It's like a private charter.
Oh, well, pardon me. I'm a meat and potatoes guy.
I know.
That's why I couldn't even say the word.
Right.
My South City doesn't allow me to say fractionals.
Pork steak and broccoli salad. Bon appetit.
That was good.
That actually does sound fantastic.
It was fantastic.
I asked. I said, "Did the team fly to Sacramento?" And then
he's got to take a Greyhound.
That'd be a haul.
Yeah. Oof. Bad situation that would be. But he might have a family vehicle or something. You could just take up there as a self. Or I'm sure a flight to San Diego to Sacramento is not too bad.
Yeah, I'm sure they fly out on the hour probably.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe take a bird.
How long do you think that drive is? San Diego to Sacramento?
Oh, 7 hours.
I'm going to take the over.
Way over.
Yeah.
Bankrolls put in the middle.
I'm going to go 9.5. San Diego's all the way down there.
That doesn't take into consideration traffic,
Well,
I'm
then I
guessing,
don't
but
know.
7 hours, 47 minutes?
Yeah.
I bet with traffic, we're reaching close to 9. I guess it depends what time
San
you
Diego's
leave.
probably a little north of New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I would imagine that Sacramento's a little north of St. Louis. I'm doing this all from Jackson. Jackson can draw a map of the mainland
I can.
from memory, and it's a thing to behold. He did it in a sales meeting
Sure
one
he did.
time.
But Sacramento's a little
So
inland,
therefore,
isn't
I
it?
think St. Louis to New Orleans is like 10 to 12 hours, I think.
10 sounds right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I arrived at my conclusion.
Sacramento's a little inland, if I'm not mistaken, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. Whereas San
So you
Diego's
go northeast.
right
But
down
very
the
close
coast.
to San Francisco.
Right. Just a little south.
A little northeast, I think.
Northeast? Not
I think
south?
so.
Okay.
I think it's northeast.
Doug, FlexJet is the way to go for the PJ and the 1%ers. That's from the Veiled Prophet.
All right. I'll look into that next time I need to go to Waterloo, Illinois.
You would fly on a private jet to Waterloo.
Yeah, you could land in
You
the
want to play
cornfield.
Ann Breyer that badly?
Yes.
Great. My
It's a
dad's
great
out there
course.
right now.
Is that right? Well, he's getting ready. He's dialing it in for Friday.
My man plays.
My man plays.
Don't say that.
He plays.
What if you're talking about your father?
My man plays.
He does. He's
What
out
if you're
there.
talking about your father?
He's grinding is what he's doing.
Grinding clips. Believe it or not, St. Louis and Sacramento lay on the same line of latitude, Doug. That's from Andy Pants.
Okay.
Wow. That's pretty interesting.
It's not that interesting, really.
I find it
There's
interesting.
other cities, too, right in there.
Sure. Denver?
Kansas City, pretty close.
Yep.
Little north, right?
Denver's probably a little north.
Yeah.
Guys, I did the New Orleans drive last summer. It's 9 hours. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the delicious information. It's 10:42 in St. Louis. Time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. They're talking it over in the Michelob Ultra YouTube chat, and they are really excited about the idea of Tanner fixing the YouTube cameras by 11:10.
Unless he has some knowledge of these that I don't, I assume the engineering team will be fixing them. But I hope for his sake that it gets fixed during his show so he can get credit for it. And I will somehow be vilified despite, my efforts. Whatever.
Michelob Ultra sponsors said conversation. 95 calories and 2.6 grams of carbohydrates. Look at this forecast. Doug, 66 degrees and sunny today. I got a high of 75 and sunny for you today. Perfect. I got a high of 81 and sunny for you on Tuesday. I got a high of 73 and sunny on Wednesday. I got a high of 73 on Thursday. Now, what about the Dotem, you say? Everybody's going to be there. Everybody's going to be there. And it says 50% chance for storms. And you sit there and go, oh, no. But then you got to dig into it because the mistake people make, they see that on their weather app on their iPhones, and they go, what in the hell? You dig into it, and you see that the weather is a 0.15 inches of rain, and it would come at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
really? Just soften up the grains.
Yeah, because they know that the players are not necessarily peaking just yet, so they need to soften them up to get those scores low.
But if it comes at 7, we'll be out there trying to broadcast. Will we have a tent?
My contract says I have a tent. You guys will be outside.
Tim gets his own personal Brock umbrella. It just
correct.
Dons like a crown.
And it tilts to the side because of the skull situation.
Yeah, it's custom made.
We got a break. It's TMA 101 ESPN.
Hey, this is Jackson with a Sports Center update. That's brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. Pistons and Cavs tonight. Detroit leads that series 2-1. Thunder, Lakers. OKC leads that 3-0 as they try to sweep the Lakers. That's going to be a 9:30 tip-off, while the Pistons-Cavs game is a 7 p.m. tip-off. That was our Sports Center update brought to you by Universal Windows Direct. You'll be saying, I love my windows.
It's TMA 101 ESPN. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Chairman Kurt slides into the dais when Martin deals with that onboarding situation. Jackson Burkett with you on the program. You guys know Dr. Pryor at 100 West Dental, right? They're located on Manchester in Baldwin. He is the guy that I have told you about going to get your smile back. Well, he can also help you get your sleep back. Dr. Pryor treats sleep apnea with custom oral appliances, and that's an alternative to a CPAP, so no mask, no machine for the right candidates. And if you think you might have a sleep issue or you've already been diagnosed, they'll do a complimentary consultation to see if it's a fit. At least go get checked, because bad sleep catches up with you and you're not performing at 100% if you're not sleeping right. At work, in the gym, anywhere. 100westdental.com. Go see Dr. Pryor. Book your complimentary sleep apnea treatment consult online, 100westdental.com. We will have BK and Ferrario coming up at the top of the hour. The Michelob Ultra YouTube chat is firmly Team Tanner, Doug. When I go in there, that is a belief that Tanner will have the cameras fixed by 11.
Oh, he's probably working on it right now.
Yeah. I don't care. I
don't care anymore.
Well, I care.
No, you don't
I
care.
hope the cameras work, but I've done everything.
I don't care anymore. Is that Genesis or Phil Collins?
I don't know.
I'll just tell you what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
We have a great engineering team here. Once we clear out, so they can get a couple of minutes to work on this.
I.e., once Tanner comes in,
they'll get it remedied, and they'll probably be working maybe 30, 45 minutes into BK and Ferrario, and then it'll be great. And then that's cool. I'll get blamed for it, and the carousel keeps spinning, dude. Like, I've experienced this. It's okay. You're not really getting one over on me because the camera's going to start working.
How would they get one over on you?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
Well, you know who else can fix things, and that's the fine people at Collier and Thompson.
Yeah, they can.
They can fix up your house better than anyone else in town.
You think they can fix the cameras?
Probably could. They fix everything else. Let them make your kitchen and bath dreams come true. It's actually now called Collier and Thompson Kitchen, Bath, and Appliance, because they have a fantastic appliance department down in the bottom of their showroom there with all the latest and greatest. If you're looking for a high-end upgrade, Collier and Thompson is the place to go. You know, the business was launched way back in 1955 by World War II veteran Joe Collier, and now for more than 60 years later, Collier and Thompson has set the industry standard in St. Louis for transforming houses into elegant homes by offering premier design, personalized service, and unparalleled quality. This is a company that you can trust in the remodeling business. That is very important, to be able to trust the people in your home, trust that they're going to do all the work on time, and it's going to look fantastic when you're done, or they will be there until you are satisfied. Everybody's satisfied at Collier and Thompson. Check out their reviews, many 5-star reviews, AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. This is the company you want to go to fix up your kitchen, bath, basement, whatever, anywhere in your house that needs work. Collier and Thompson is the place to have it done. Collier and Thompson is on Manchester Road in Manchester, next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Come home to quality online at KollerandThompson.com.
Doug, the 617 says it was Phil Collins about getting a divorce.
Okay.
Is that right, really?
I just didn't know. I didn't know then. I don't know now.
Hey, guys, I am hungover. Can you keep it to a whisper? That's from Chairman Steve.
Turn the radio down.
In Des Moines.
Can you keep it to a whisper? Like he has no option. He can't turn the show off. He can't even turn it down.
I appreciate the passion.
Just tuned in. I love the overhead camera shot of the program. However, the audience can now see the phone books under Tim. Fix it! Oh. That's from the Forest Park Tree Mulch Monster.
It's a really high angle.
Yeah, it is.
Jackson's waving to the people. He's waving to the people.
It's like a security camera.
I think, we had 2 cameras down, Doug and Martin's camera. To be able to broadcast like this is okay. For a one-off show, this is not bad.
Yeah,
I'm sure people will be very understanding.
It's fine.
Andy Katz just posted his bracketology. Boy, this is something else. Look what's going to happen in Los Angeles. He agrees with Lenardi that the Billikens will be in Louisville in the 8-9 matchup. Now, interestingly, Katz has the Billikens at 8, and he's got Bewa at 9.
Heaven's sakes.
So that's huge because with that, you avoid playing Kentucky in their backyard.
But we don't know if any of this is going to come up.
But he does agree that Illinois would be the 1 seed.
They haven't played yet.
And they would take on the Billikens if St. Louis University were to win and Illinois is able to get past that 16 matchup with Tennessee State and North Dakota that people are talking about.
It's just all made up right now.
Now, the thing that is really interesting here for this LA region is Bazzori is a 7 seed. And if they get, he's got him playing Arizona in the second round as well. If they can get past him, the next thing you know, you could have Missouri playing St. Louis University in the Elite Eight or a rematch of the bragging rights game in the Elite Eight. So at this point now, it's starting to gain momentum. There's a consensus.
There's no consensus. There's no momentum. It's a guy with a lot of time on his hands who was told, please come up with some bracketology.
How do you explain Lenardi's bracket almost mirroring Andy Katz's bracket?
Because they probably sit next to each other in a cube farm somewhere.
This is so typical. Doug's always hated Baylor. It's from Arbor Day.
I don't hate Baylor.
I hate Scottsboro.
I don't hate any of them. I hate the process where in the middle of May we can say, here's who's going to be playing and where next March.
I expect a full breakdown of Carano-Rousey tomorrow at 7. That's from the Gray Summit Gray Goose Guzzler.
Oh, is that tonight?
It is coming up on Saturday.
So they want to break down something that hasn't happened yet?
That's correct.
I'm out. Meanwhile, looking at
you
this,
might as well. It makes as much sense as this bracketology.
Looking at this mock draft, I got Keaton Wagler going 5th.
I see that.
I could see it. I mean, he's outstanding. I'm like Darius Acuff sitting out there. I kind of like him a little more. I don't know. Maybe I'm off.
Oh, anti-ILL.
I love Keaton Wagler. I think he's great, but I think Acuff showed more.
Oh, yeah, he's fantastic, Acuff.
Yeah.
He just takes the game over.
Right. But it's you draft on who you need.
Who do they got going 1?
AJ DeBonsa from BYU.
Okay.
And then Darren Peterson, 2. I could see that being 1 or 2. I could flip by. But we do know that the Washington Wizards have the first overall pick, the worst franchise in all of American sports. I'll say it.
Oh, you think so?
Yep.
Worse because, why, they just always lose? Never have a good year?
Not ever in playoff contention. Never even seem like they're trying. No real brand kind of at all. I mean,
it's 10:57. I can't spend a lot of time on this, and I might be gone.
I was promised we'd get around to the Washington Wizards.
And that's why, and the Rousey-Carano fight.
Right. Yeah, that hadn't happened.
Yeah.
But if I could stick around long enough, I feel comfortable in saying if we did a long-term prop bet that the Wizards will win a championship before the Colorado Rockies would. And I would put the Colorado Rockies as the worst franchise of the 4 majors.
The Rockies have been closer in this century.
But the Rockies aren't in a position where they can get great pitchers to ever come there.
For sure.
So they are just doomed by their situation.
Unless they build,
unless they build a stadium at the foot of the mountain.
This is when I think Ken Strode once said that they need to build one underground.
Would a dome help at that altitude?
No.
I don't think it would.
No, there would still be the same.
Yeah.
Is Jackson breaking the cameras out of spite because Hubbard won't play Movie Boy during primetime drive? That's in The Hunchback of Von Castle.
I mean, like what? Replace programming that they already have with the podcast? Where I swear,
I would love it if the Riz Show were out a day and Movie Boy played. I just want to read the 105.7 The Point text.
Just like the greatest hits, 4 straight episodes of it.
You miss anything on this? You podcast via the Schaefer Door Company podcast app, SCHAEFER. Door.com. That's Jason Gosrow and Schaefer Door Company, sponsor of the podcast here on the Morning After. Schaefer Door, that's on TMASTL.com. That's on 101ESPN.com. And, of course, the apps, the TMASTL app, the 101 ESPN app, SchaeferDoor.com. Schaefer, a LiftMaster partner. Time for us to shut it down. BK and Ferrario are coming up next. For Jackson Burkett, for Chairman Kurt, for Martin Kilcoyne, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been The Morning After, presented to you by Brown and Crouppen on 101 ESPN and the TMA STL YouTube channel.